Knicks family, what's popping? Well, the Knicks blew a 19-point lead, ended the game on a wild goaltending call. And, what do we expect from the New York Knicks, my friends and family? Let's talk about it. Knicks in London. What's up, people? And good evening to you. Glad you guys are here with me. Unfortunately, I was not able to see the game live. I did watch the replay. I recorded it on my YouTube TV, and I was able to watch the replay. And man, let me tell you, the Knicks. If we can find any way to lose possible, right? If it exists, the Knicks will find a way to do it. And that's exactly what we did today by losing on a goaltending. I mean, we had a 19-point lead. It shouldn't even have been there. We had a double-digit lead throughout the entire game, and then we give it away at the end. And not at the end, but we give it away in the fourth quarter. Because we are who we are. We're the New York Knicks. We got a video chat here. We got Aunt G, we got Isaiah, we got Viv. So we're gonna go ahead and talk it up with these guys. We're gonna, chop it up, talk about these New York Knicks. We're gonna talk about, would you trade Frank for Dennis Smith Jr.? We're gonna go through our roster and just talk about, would you trade him or keep him? The deadline is coming up. It's a good time to talk about these things. Then we'll talk about this Martin Luther King Day matinee, where some of the guys that's in the chat are going to be there. Some of the guys that are joining us now are probably going to be there. We're going to have a good time. All right. And if you haven't seen the video to give you the instructions, make sure you check out the video. All right. So let's get to our video chat. Talk to a couple of these guys here. Isaiah, what's popping with you, bro? How you feeling?
Not much, Sim. I'm all right, man. I watched the game with my dad. He's real excited for to come, man. He's excited, man. I was like, they got food. He was like, they got food?
Yeah, man.
He was like, I was like, we're gonna be all happy. He's gonna be in the court too. He's like, oh, really? He's like, man, you hooking it up. I'm like, yeah, Dad. That's what I do, man. That's what I do.
Hey, and Chester, a couple streams ago, we were talking about everybody who ate all the chicken and ate all the hot dogs and all that kind of stuff. And you said it was the old white guy. Yeah. Chester made it very clear. He was like, it was not me. He said, I do not even eat meat. He said, I don't eat chicken. Well, I don't know if he said he didn't eat meat. He said, I don't eat chicken. He said, so Isaiah, it was not me. It was not the old white guy. So he wanted to let you know it wasn't the old white
Chester,
guy.
Man. Right. I'm sorry, man. I try to do the old excuse, blame it on the white man. I'm sorry. I did let people know. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the I watched it.
The little video. I did let people know, let's not eat all the food, right? Let's keep it cool. Let's not take 3 and 4 hot dogs and 3 and 4 chicken strips and 5 sodas. Let's try to keep it. Let's try to let some other people eat. You know what I mean? Now, last time, but one of the things too was last time. We had some overflow in our lounge because, we tried to book another lounge, and we didn't get that total lounge booked. So we did some standing room in that lounge, and so we had some extra people there. And I asked them, I said, well, since we have like 10 to 15 extra people in this lounge, 10 extra people in this lounge, will you give us extra food? And they told us no. I was like, what do you mean? We paid for. And they wouldn't give us extra food. Now, I ordered some extra food, right? But they should have gave us some extra food because, but it is what it is. We don't have the extra people this time, so we should be a little bit better. You know what I mean? We don't have the extra people this time, so that's what's up. That's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I know we got a young man that's coming in who's a big Russell Westbrook fan, so when we go to courtside, if Russell Westbrook comes out, I'm going to ask one of the security guards if maybe the little man can go over and get a Russell Westbrook autograph or something like that. See how that works out. But that'll be cool for him.
And that's my guy too. I'm a little boy sometimes.
Man, get out of here, man. See that? Try to get that little boy shine. What's up?
Michael Jackson think I'm a little. I'm sorry. Let me see.
All right, let's get around to the rest of the chat. Isaiah, when I come around to you, though, if you could turn that down when I get to you, so that we don't hear that in the background. All right, but I'm gonna get around to everybody, see what's up. Ant, what's popping, man? You and Isaiah riding in together to the game on Monday.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you're safe, man. Is Isaiah driving or are you driving? I don't know if I would trust Isaiah driving.
It's whatever, man.
I don't know if I would trust Isaiah driving, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Isaiah got jokes, man. I don't know if I would trust him. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Now I know you said you didn't see today's game live, but you caught the replay.
Yeah, I was working, man, getting money.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. You're gonna need it if you plan on buying alcoholic drinks at the Garden, because they're gonna hit you in the pocket. Trust me.
I'm chilling.
They're gonna hit you in the pocket. They're gonna hit. They're hitting you there, man. How far up do you guys live?
Like an hour.
Like an hour.
Hour.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. It's no trains that you can catch in.
No, we could, yeah, but
I mean, because my guys, like I told you earlier, it's gonna cost like $70 to park. I mean, if you could take the train in, you might want to take that joint in. It's gonna cost like $70 to park, man. I'm
gonna have to stick somebody up, son.
Yeah.
My boy Isaiah got my back.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I saw my guy Payback Carter in the chat, man. I want to say what's up, man. He had my back earlier in the year, man. He offered me a ticket and all of that. So
that's what's up.
I'm saying what's up to Payback. I ain't seen him in a minute, man, but
that's what's up.
My guy's in the chat.
Yeah, big shout out to Payback Carter. Yeah, I ain't seen Payback in a minute. I'm glad he's here. Big shout out. Ain't been too much to talk about with the Knicks though, so you know what do you expect? You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Yeah. Viv, what's popping with you, Viv?
What's going on, Tim? Not much, man. I just I got the game a little bit. I didn't catch each and every minute, but you know, I watched a good chunk of the first half, and then a little bit of the second half, especially at the end. Yeah, I mean, this is like the perfect example of a tank loss and a perfect example of why we only won 10 games so far this season.
Right.
Where whatever good we did in the first quarter, we just completely stopped doing it right afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and look, throughout the game, I mean, we had a double-digit lead throughout the game. We won the first quarter 30-20. The second quarter was tied 33-33. All right, we take a 10-point lead, 63-53. We take that into half. Third quarter, with 26-24, we lead 26-24. We got a 12-point lead going into the third quarter, and then we collapsed in the fourth quarter, getting out, and we got outscored 24-11 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that fourth quarter execution. It's always one of those quarters, man, that come back and just bite us in the ass every single time.
I think it took us a while just to score in the fourth quarter, right? I think we barely scored. I think our assists completely, I think, stopped in the second half. I don't even know how many assists we had into this overall in the game. I'm going to look right now. I'm curious. Yeah, we didn't have a lot. So, you know, no ball movement. And then we had some inopportune turnovers. And then, you know, that's just the story of the Knicks season.
Yeah,
right there.
Exactly. We had 15 assists for the entire game. That is just ridiculous. 15 assists for the entire game.
Yeah. But I don't know, Tim. I mean, look, someone's gonna say, "Oh, you know, we don't got smart enough players. We don't have talented players. We don't got this." I mean,
we know what it is. I don't know.
We know what it is.
We can even. I mean, on it,
you could probably get them to pass a little more, but you know, at this point, I don't know. I mean, it's really tough to gauge what they can do at this point. I think they probably brought a lot of adrenaline into the game, so that's why it started so hot. And then, it's just like this team, right? The moment you make one tiny adjustment, they don't have a counter.
Yeah, exactly. You make,
and maybe they're not taught the counter. Maybe they're being instructed to think about react to the counter naturally in some sort of sense, and maybe that's why they haven't built in a counter.
Yeah.
But you saw when Luke Cornett, I think he had how many threes? He had like 3 or 4 threes in the first half, and then second half came. They made one switch to force him to have a smaller guy guard him, I think, and then they were giving him an opportunity to post up, but he didn't. For some reason, they just didn't. They didn't execute that mismatch, and they just didn't. They couldn't seem to get him open threes afterwards.
Yeah. The Knicks were 9 for 18 from 3 in the first half. We ended the game, and I'm going to pull this up real quick. We were 9 for 18 in the first half from 3-point line. We ended the game 12 for 29. Still a decent percentage. We shot 41.4%. Overall, we shot 44.8% from the field, 83.3% from the stripe, which was 10 for 12. So we only went to the line 12 times. Again, we got hammered on the boards with no cancer out there, 51 to 42. Mm-hmm. Offensive rebounds, we got beat 15 to 8. Defensive rebounds were tied at 36. We only had 15 assists on the night, 8 steals, 3 blocks, and we had 14 turnovers.
See, this is what frustrates me, Sim, right? So I'm looking at the box score right now of the Bulls and Nuggets. The Bulls are getting crushed by 30 points heading into the fourth quarter, right?
Right.
The Bulls, starting the fourth quarter, had 17 assists, and they only scored 73 points. We scored 100 points, and we only had 15 assists.
Yeah.
And the Bulls are a bad team too. We're all talking about the bottom feeding teams, but the fact that we can't even scrap up 20 assists, or maybe 20 assists is a high assist game for us. It just amazes me.
Yeah. It does. Me too. And it really does have to do with the ball movement factor, the ball movement, man movement, and all that stuff. It really does. Amazed me too. D Public Enemy said, Sim, your daughter's team can beat the Knicks. You know what? I don't know, man. Let me tell you something. We had 27 turnovers tonight, and we played a team. We had 27 turnovers, and we still were right.
Just run a pick and roll. Run a pick and roll.
Right. Run a pick and roll. We had 20. My girls' team tonight, we had 27 turnovers. We were still in the game. We still could have won the game. We had 27 turnovers. But you can't overcome 27 turnovers. You can't overcome that. But we'll see those girls again. We're starting. Some of our other girls are starting to get into the flow offensively. So it's coming. It's turning around. It's coming. We're being patient. We're trying to teach them how to be athletes and get into the mindset. Learn and understand how to focus. Right, every second, every minute of the game. That's our biggest problem. We can do things well. We can look really good, but we lose focus somewhere, and the other team goes on a run, and then we can never get it back. So we're really trying. I might have to put them through yoga or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's the biggest problem. Now, again, we have an 8th grader on the team. They're 14, 15, and 16 years old. So they're expected to lose focus and not to know how to focus throughout an entire game. And, speaking of that, with the Knicks being, if you look at our team and how young we are, I guess you should expect us to not be able to, the Knicks not, to not be able to maintain focus either. That's what it is. We're also a young team in NBA terms. You know what I mean?
We are one of the younger teams.
Yeah. Let me see. We got a new guy in the chat. My man, I'm not sure your name. You're going to have to unmute yourself. What's your name, my man? How you doing?
My name is Ken. I'm doing good.
Oh, you said your name is what?
My name is Ken.
Ken? K-E-N?
Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing today, Ken? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a Knicks fan from Japan, and I watch your show every day, and I respect it,
All right. So it sounds like you're talking on speakerphone or anything. You got a headset or something like that? Maybe we can hear you a little clearer.
I do not have one. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. We'll figure out what you're saying. I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you joined us.
Thank you.
Now, okay. So you said you're in Japan?
Yeah, I'm in Japan.
So, how did you become a Knicks fan?
What?
How did you become a Knicks fan?
Oh yeah, I used to live in Connecticut.
You said you what?
I used to live in Connecticut.
Oh, I could. You're kind of muffled. You're a little bit muffled. I apologize about that. Maybe if you could maybe speak a little closer to it. He said 1 second. He said 1 second. Well, while we're waiting for you, man, we're gonna, while we're waiting for you, we're gonna go ahead and finish running down. Oh, she used to live in Connecticut. Okay, all right, I got that. Good, nice. All right, well, these guys, these two, Isaiah and Ant, are both from Connecticut. We got a Connecticut crew in the house today. Got the Connecticut crew in the house. All right, no doubt. All right, I'm gonna come back to you. Let me finish, going over these box scores real quick, and then I'm gonna come back to you. All right, as you can see, the Knicks' biggest lead was 19. The Wizards' biggest lead was 4, and of course, that was in the fourth quarter. We ran through these team stats. Let's look at some individual stuff. We'll check out the box score. Kevin Knox today kind of had a dud. Kind of a dud today, right? 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Noah Vonleh, he did his usual Noah Vonleh things. He had 13 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. Luke Cornett, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. I want to talk about, he also had 5 steals and 1 block, Luke Cornett did. I want to talk about Luke Cornett just a little bit. I just want to see you guys what do you guys see from the future with Luke? Tim Hardaway Jr. shot 28% from the field. He only shot 7 shots though. Took 7 field goal attempts. He was 2 for 7 from the field, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers. Emmanuel Mudiay, 25 points. He was 11 for 18 from the field. He had 7 rebounds, 2 assists. With that being said, and this goes to show you I don't know, Emmanuel Mudiay in the plus minus was a negative 12. What's that say? Who knows? Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina played 16 minutes. He was 3 points, 1 for 7 from the field, 14.3%. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He had 1 turnover. He had 1 block. But get this, Emmanuel Mudiay was a positive 11 in the plus minus. Take with it what you will. Sometimes that plus minus is a weird stat, right? Damian Dotson, 13 points, 5 for 8 from the field, 62%. He was 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Mario Hezonja played 19 minutes, had 0 points, 6 rebounds. Lonzo Trier had 13 points. He was 5 for 8 from the field, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. So Alonzo Trier came back to us, and Mitchell Robinson made his first appearance since going out with an ankle sprain a few weeks back. He played 9 minutes, had 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 block. Looking at the Washington Wizards, a team that, let me tell you what, this is a team that many, including myself, figured was going to tank out the rest of the season. According to their owner, because, I'm in DC, so when I watched the game, when I put the game on replay, they picked it up from the Washington Wizards telecast. And he said, and maybe any owner is going to say this, I don't know, but he said he doesn't believe in tanking. He's not going to tank. He said the players want to work hard and play as hard as they can with the little, with what they have. He said he doesn't think it's fair to the players. He doesn't think it's fair to the fans. He doesn't think it's fair to the other teams. He doesn't think it's fair to the NBA. He doesn't like it when teams tank. And he's seen too many teams tank and then not come up with what they were expecting. Right? He said they're going to play hard with what they got and let the chips fall where they may. We'll see if that's strategy, if that's the right strategy to take. But that's what they're going to do. So I guess they're not going to tank out the rest of the season. They're still going to try to make a run to those playoffs. Can they get there? I don't know. We'll go back and look at that in a second. We'll look at the standings in a second after I go through these box scores. Trevor Ariza. I like Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza had 12 points, 3 for 11 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3-point line, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Jeff Green played 20 minutes, had 3 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal. Thomas Bryant, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Bradley Beal, 26 points. The Knicks did a good job on Bradley Beal. He shot 29 shots, took almost 30 field goal attempts, but he only shot 34.5% from the field. He had 9 rebounds, also had 4 assists, but he topped his assists with 7 turnovers. Tom Satoransky had 14 points with 1 dunk in the first half. That could have been called a goaltend, an offensive goaltend maybe, or offensive interference. But anyways, he had a dunk in that first half. He had 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Jason Randall, former New York Knick, had played 23 minutes, had 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Otto Porter Jr. had 20 points, 50% from the field, 11 rebounds. No one else really did anything besides Sam Decker. Sam Decker had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Those are the stats for the Washington Wizards, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go up. Let's look at the standings real quick. Even though the Washington Wizards aren't our team, let's just look at the standings as we take a gander around the NBA. Right now, in the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks lead all teams in the Eastern Conference. They're 32-12 on the season. They're on a 3-game win streak right now, 8-2 in the last 10. The Toronto Raptors, 34-13. They are 34-13. They've won 1 game, and actually, if you look at it, the Toronto Raptors are actually above the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are actually a half game behind the Toronto Raptors for whatever reason. The NBA has Milwaukee number 1. The Toronto Raptors should be number 1. I don't know if it has to do with, I don't know. Anyway, the Toronto Raptors, or maybe it's because of the win percentage. It's a little bit weird, right? No, it's not. Yeah, the Milwaukee has a win percentage of 7.727. The Toronto Raptors win percentage is 0.723, but the Milwaukee Bucks are a game behind the Toronto Raptors. Weird, but there you go. Indiana Pacers are 29-15. Philadelphia 76ers have the 4th seed right now at 30-16. The Boston Celtics have the 5th seed at 26-18. The Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers would meet in the first round. I think that would be a hell of a playoff series. The Miami Heat are 21-21. The Brooklyn Nets are 23-23. The Charlotte Hornets are 21-23. The Detroit Pistons are 19-24. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Charlotte Hornets hold the 8th seed at 21-23, followed by the Detroit Pistons, Orlando Magic, and then the Washington Wizards are, after today's victory, 2.5 games behind the Charlotte Hornets for that 8th seed. So I'm assuming that they're going to make a push for that 8th seed. Maybe that's a landing spot for Carmelo Anthony. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about Carmelo Anthony a little bit. What's going to go, where's he going to end up? And as you can see, the Knicks are next to last in the Eastern Conference at 10-34, only above the Cleveland Cavaliers. In the Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors have reclaimed their spot on top of the Western Conference at 31-14. The Denver Nuggets, the Warriors actually just blew out the Nuggets to send a message to them that, we are still the magna cum laude in the Western Conference. Denver Nuggets 29-14, second place in the Western Conference. Oklahoma City Thunder, who the Knicks play next Monday night at the Madison Square Garden at the Martin Luther King Day matinee. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 26-17. Portland Trailblazers 27-19. Houston Rockets are 25-19. San Antonio Spurs, the always good San Antonio Spurs, they always find a way to be there, 26-20. Los Angeles Clippers 24-24. And in the 8th spot, the Utah Jazz are 25-21. Looking at the Western Conference, man, they're good. They're almost good all the way down to the bottom. The Los Angeles Lakers are 24-21. Half a game out of the 8th spot. Sacramento Kings 23-22. And the Sacramento Kings are looking for a boost in talent so that they can try to get into the playoffs. Sacramento Kings are in an amazing spot, ladies and gentlemen. They are in an amazing spot with the way that, with the amount of money that they're going to have in free agency, listen, they're $30 to $40 million below the salary cap now. Their salaries for 2018 and 19 is like $88 million. Then they have another, $25 to $30 million that comes off the books this summer. The problem is, who wants to go to Sacramento? But that's what it is. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 21-23. Derrick Rose is having a resurgent year this year. He's actually shooting above 40% from the three-point line. Derrick Rose is for this year. Some people laughed at me when I drafted him in one of my fantasy leagues. Derrick Rose is averaging 18 points per game, shooting 48% from the field, about 40%, a little above 40% from the three-point line. New Orleans Hornets are 21-24. Dallas Mavericks, who are looking to trade Dennis Smith Jr., we're going to talk about that in a little bit, are 20-24. The Memphis Grizzlies 19-25, and the Phoenix Suns are 11-35. The Knicks are a bottom 3 team in the league, ladies and gentlemen, and we should expect that for the remainder of the year. All right, so that's a quick gander around the NBA, and we're gonna go ahead and get to our video chat, and talk about the NBA, talk about everything going on with the New York Knicks. I don't know how much more we want to talk about this game though, right? Because it's not much more to say. I mean, we know how we lost. We lost this game on a goaltending call, and I'm not even outraged. It doesn't matter to me. That's how I feel right now. Right? That's how I feel right now. We're 10-34. We've been doing this. We've been doing this all season long, finding ways to lose all season long. Right? So I want to talk about Frank Ntilikina and Dennis Smith Jr. These two guys are destined to be linked to each other throughout their careers, in my opinion. Just because Dennis Smith Jr., so many people think he should have been drafted by the New York Knicks, and instead we drafted Frank Ntilikina. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be really, really, really honest with you right now. I don't want Dennis Smith Jr. Right? I'm not impressed by, so far this season at least. And listen, he's a young kid. He's 21 years old. He's got time to become a very good NBA player, and I hope that he does. But I'm not impressed by his, his attitude a little bit. I'm not impressed by his defense, of course. I'm not at all. That's why I don't want him here, because from that guard spot, we need guys who can play defense. We are starving for guys who can play defense. We are amongst the worst defensive teams in the league. So we need guys that can play defense. You know what I mean? And I know people say, well, he's better than, people say he's better than Frank Ntilikina and all this stuff. I guess it depends on what you want out of your team and where you're going with your team, if you think that. You know what I'm saying? Right? The kid can score. There's no doubt about it. We know that. Dennis Smith Jr. can score the basketball. Right? And he's probably going to be a good scorer throughout his career. That's what he does. And I'm not knocking him. That's what he does. He's a scoring guard. Right? He's a scoring guard. Dennis Smith Jr. on the season now. Dennis Smith Jr. this year is averaging 12.6 points, 2.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists. He's 6'3", 195 pounds. He's shooting 44.3% from the field, 37.5% from three. He averages 3.9 assists per game, 3.1 turnovers per game, 1.4 steals per game. It's not awful stats for a second-year guard. His plus minus is negative 2.7. Right? Not terrible stats. So then, if these aren't terrible stats, decent stats, took a step back from last year. Why? Because you added another player. That's why. So really, in my opinion, that's the reason why. Luka is a ball-dominant player, right? He's going to have the ball in his hands. Everything's going to run through Luka because Luka is like almost like a vet in a kid's age, kid's body, or whatever you want to say. The guy can play. Why do the Dallas Mavericks want to trade this guy? Why? That's what I'm going to ask. Why do they want to trade him? I think it has to do with his defense. I think it has to do with his the way right now he's meshing or mixing with Luka. Right? Can they play together? Listen, he's only played 28 games this year. Obviously, he has injury problems, and that's going to be throughout his career. That's going to be throughout his career, right? The Dallas Mavericks are halfway through the season. He hasn't missed half the games, but he's missed a lot of them. He's missed, he's only played 65% of the games or something. Right? 70% of the games. And this is going to happen throughout his career. That's another reason why I don't want Dennis Smith Jr. But, to be honest with you, I think Frank Ntilikina would do much better with the Dallas Mavericks than with the New York Knicks. I really do. I think that Frank Ntilikina playing alongside Luka would be... I think he'd do well. I think he would do very well. And that doesn't mean that he's going to score 15 points a game. But I think he would do very well because Rick Carlisle expects and demands defense. Right? He expects and he demands defense. He is the kind of coach that wants to see ball movement and man movement. And Frank Ntilikina and Luka, I think they would play well off of each other. I think he would play very, very well off of Luka. He wouldn't be afraid to give the ball to Luka. I think he would do very well in Dallas, honestly. I do. And to be honest with you, in the style of in the system that Fizdale wants to play with the Knicks, and on this team right now, Dennis Smith Jr. would probably fare very well. He might average 20 points per game. I'm just saying what I see. It doesn't mean that I think they should do the trade. Because can you imagine? Let's just say they did do that trade, and Tim Hardaway Jr. was not included in that trade. And you had Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dennis Smith Jr. in the backcourt. Can you imagine? Right? Can you imagine that? That would be... that would be the worst defensive backcourt maybe in the history of the modern NBA. Really. You know what I mean? That would be awful. It would be terrible. But Dennis Smith Jr. would probably, in the way that we play basketball, he'd probably average 20 points and 6 assists a game. Really, I do believe he would. Would he mesh with Kristaps Porzingis, though? Right? Would he mesh with Kristaps Porzingis? I don't know. I don't know how that would work. You know what I'm saying? if he's not, I mean, Kristaps Porzingis and Luka are different players, right? Kristaps Porzingis isn't going to be, he's not going to have the ball in his hands, so his usage rate is not going to be. I don't know. His usage rate isn't going to be Luka's. Let's put it like that. And Dennis Smith Jr., he would have the ball in his hands, and it would be up to Dennis Smith Jr. to feed Kristaps Porzingis where Porzingis wants the basketball and all of that good stuff. Would they work together? That would be, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'd be very, very, very reluctant to do that trade. I would, very reluctant. I know people want to move people want to move Tim Hardaway in his contract, right? But I couldn't do it because I value Frank Ntilikina's his length and his defense. I know his offense has a long way to go. I just think he has more of the character that we're going to need on this team. He may not give you the flashy points and all that kind of stuff. I get that, right? But I believe that Frank Ntilikina is going to give you some of the ingredients that you need to have a good basketball team in the future. And he may not, he's not going to give you flashy numbers probably, right? And Dennis Smith Jr. will give you flashy numbers. And if you trade him in the short term, it would probably look like it worked out for both teams. That's what it would look like on the surface, I believe. Right? I believe on the surface, Dennis Smith Jr. would come to New York and he'd average 20 points and 6 assists. Frank Ntilikina would go in and he'd fit in with Luka. And on the surface, it would look like it worked out for both teams. But in the long run, I think it would not work out for the New York Knicks. Right? Because then we'd have, you'd have to commit to him because you traded away a high draft pick for him. Right? So you'd have to commit some time and energy into this guy. And in the long run, I don't think it would work out. I think there'd be injury problems. I think there would be fit chemistry problems and those type of things. That's what I think. Right? So I say no to the trade. I say no. Right? I say no. I see B from Jersey said that I'm overrating Frank's value. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I am overrating his value. But I just think that he has some ingredients that you're going to need when the team is better, when the team is good. Frank Ntilikina is going to be that glue guy. In my opinion, when he's 23, 24 years old, and if he's still on the New York Knicks, which I don't think he's going to be. I'm not saying I think he's going to get traded this year, but I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to come into his game someplace else. But I think he's going to be that glue type of a guy. The guy that brings all of your offensive pieces together. Right? That kind of a guy. That's what I think Frank Ntilikina is going to be. I don't think Dennis Smith Jr. is that kind of a guard. Right? I don't think he's that kind of a guard. And I'm not knocking him for it. Right? He's the kind of guard that he is. And trust me, there's going to be, if the Mavs are going to trade him, there's going to be somebody who takes him. And I think he's going to have a very good career as well. Injury-riddled career, but a good one. Right? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to see, man. Video chat, I want to know what you guys think about that. All right? Isaiah, what do you think, man?
Sim.
Yep.
Are you ready? Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
So, here's the thing. And I said this before about Frank. What did I say about him, Sim? Frank is Holly Berry from Boomerang. You don't appreciate him until later on. I get so angry with this. I get so angry with this chat sometimes because I feel like Knicks fans don't remember Stephon Marbury. They don't remember Steve Francis. They don't remember Derrick Rose 2 years ago that played with Porzingis and didn't make him better. I just don't understand. I don't understand when people. I don't understand our team. Well, hold on a second. I don't understand our fan base when they want off. For the last 10 years, people have want offensive guards when we had them, and they haven't done anything. They haven't moved the needle for our team. Our team moves when we get defensive point guards. When we get guys that are unselfish, that play the position. People gotta understand that. Yes, Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, if you want to keep it technical, I mean, Emmanuel Moody is a Dennis Smith Jr. right now. He just doesn't dunk.
I mean, but I don't know about that. I think that Dennis Smith.
Well, he's better than Emmanuel Moody, but
I think Dennis Smith. I don't know which one is better, to be honest with you, but I think Dennis Smith Jr. His jump shot is a little more. It's more fluent. It's more natural. Emmanuel Mudiay still has, he pulls his jump shot. It still looks a little funny, kind of. His landing is a little funny. His feet don't seem to be fully underneath him. Dennis Smith Jr., is a little more automatic. I think he's probably, offensively, I think he's probably smarter than Mudiay, right? I think he naturally can create for other players a little bit better than Mudiay. Although, Mudiay is okay. I think Dennis Smith Jr., I think it's more natural for him. He's more athletic than Mudiay.
But you know what? Also, too, Sim, that it just irks my soul with a lot of people here in this chat always saying trade Frank, do this. He's only, and I know people kill us, but he's literally only 20, and he plays defense. People are trying to kill him this year about his defense, but this is still a point guard that guards 1 through 4. That doesn't happen in this league a lot.
I know. I mean, I get it. But let's be honest with what we have right now. Just I'm not saying to make the trade. All I'm saying is with what we have right now and the way that Fizdale seems to want to play, Dennis Smith Jr. is more of that person than Frank Ntilikina. And the way it seems like Dallas wants to play and Rick Carlisle wants to play, which is more of the way that I want to play, but Frank Ntilikina fits them a little bit better.
I know.
That's what it seems like to me.
And that really aggravates my soul that the way that they want to play is exactly how I want to play, with spacing, sharing, no egos, and spacing the ball. And it's funny how, and this is what I think, and I hope it isn't true, but I have a feeling Fizz won't last if he continues with players that he likes. I don't think we're going to be good. I really don't, because the players that he wants attacking point guards, which is weird because he came from a system in Miami that really didn't feature point guards. But my thing is, he wants these attacking point guards that don't make people around him better. Like, I literally seen Frank put KP in the position to score. I seen him put Kevin Knox in the position to score. I seen him do it. I seen him with Doc. I seen him. Tim Hardaway shoots better when Frank is on the floor. And even with our 10 wins this season, 6 of those wins came when Frank played 30 minutes. And people want microwave versus the oven. Yeah. They don't want to go through the BS of developing players, which is, again, it's supposed to be a developmental year. And it just makes me mad when people love. Other fans love Marcus Smart. Other fans love Draymond Green. Other fans love Sean Livingston. But we, as our own fan base, can't love a guy that does everything and does the little things that helps you win championships. That's what gets me angry with our fan base. Most of the Celtics love Marcus Smart. Yeah. They love him. Danny Ainge, the great GM, didn't get rid of him because why? He plays defense. Why is Draymond Green about to get a supermax? He doesn't score 30 points. He doesn't score 20 points a game, but you see the difference when he plays versus Golden State. When he doesn't play, their defense becomes trash. They don't space the floor. They don't move the ball like they usually do. It's just, I just get so upset because Frank is something so refreshing that we drafted that is something that we're going to need when we become good, but people don't want to give him a chance because he doesn't score like Westbrook or Kyrie.
Yeah, let's see what some other people think. I mean, I feel you. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Guillermo, what do you think, man? I'm being honest, man. I think that the reason why this trade is being brought up and could possibly, in my opinion, could possibly have legs at some point or another, or is maybe even seriously being considered or discussed. Right, and right now it's all just rumors, you know, where people are saying, you know, because the Dallas Mavericks are looking to trade Dennis Smith Jr. And of course Frank Ntilikina comes up, and honestly, I think that at some point this thing could have a little bit of something to it, because both players will fit in the opposite style of play. That's the reason why the Dallas Mavericks had Rondo. It didn't work out because of Rondo's attitude, right? But Rondo is that style and that type of point guard that you want to have there. At that time, they had Dirk was there. You know, that kind of guard that's going to get the ball to the guys that can score. Well, now you got Luka, and you know, you want to have a guard like Frank Ntilikina who is not going to be ball dominant and doesn't mind playing defense, doing those other things, get in where you fit in.
Yeah, look, the chat kills me. The chat kills me because they think I'm in love with Frank. I like the potential there. I never say that like Frank is the greatest or whatever. Like, people in the chat who, and I'm not saying you could disagree with me, whatever, it's perfectly fine. I love difference of opinion, but the reason why I look at Frank, right, is because when I look at his potential at the highest ceilings, right, I look at a guy who, one, plays defense, two, distributes. Now, Sim, you've played basketball. All you guys have played basketball, right? The two things, especially that lazy scorers like, they like guys who are going to do the defensive work for them, and they like guys who are going to get them the ball.
Yes.
A guy like Frank, this is why players, let me not say everyone, but players appreciate Rondo. I know he had the attitude thing, whatever, but the reason why Rondo was so spectacular because he was so aggressive at getting guys the ball, and then at his peak, he was so good at defense. And three, he had a basketball mind on the court. He was a coach. I wish Frank could have some of that. Now, the thing with this thing, this is what scares me about this trade having legs. It shows that Fizdale, when he looks at the construction of a team, it's this very linear construction, right? It's not, let me see what pieces fit to create this organic team of guys that there's a symbiotic kind of synergy to everybody, right? There's a guy who plays defense in the front court. There's a guy who gets the steals. There's a guy who can facilitate. There's a dirty guy who gets the rebounds here and there. There's a guy who shoots off ball. We just trying to kind of put all this talent together and try to see something magical that happens. And when you have a bunch of young guys, think about it, this is Dennis Smith's second year in the league. And this is a guy who's had 2 ACL injuries. Both his knees are basically messed up, even though his hops are just stupid. This is a guy who has 12.6 points. He's shooting 37.5% from three, 44% from the field goal as a point guard. And he only has about 3.9 assists. So what are we getting here, Sim? You got to tell me, this is the thing that scares me. If this trade has legs, it's scary because what is Fizdale looking for? Is he looking for another guy to just come on, pile on points and play no defense? Because when we played them last time, we kind of had his number, bro. Mm-hmm. We had his number. Dennis Smith, he did not look that impressive to me as he looked his freshman year. And his freshman year, they'll just kind of try him out. So I'm scared. And the reason why I think this has credence is because I'm not saying I want Fizdale fired, but I'm just not, I'm not really, I don't feel safe in what he's trying to do philosophy, culture-wise with his team. So I think he's just trying to get talent and make a splash versus make a team, build something organic. And the thing that gets me, and this is my last point, I know you got other guys, it gets me because this should be the year that we should just be experimenting the hell out of these guys. Now, somebody said, oh, we're tanking. We can still experiment, find what's best, and tank, because this team is not like it's the Thunder, right? So experiment with this team, man. Look, I mean, for instance, people want to talk about, oh, Frank is this, blah, blah, blah. Tell me, Russell Westbrook, who's averaging a triple-double the past 2 seasons, correct me if I'm wrong, averaging a triple-double past 2 seasons, what has he done this year that's making OKC much more dangerous? 2 things. One, I'm not saying he never played good defense, He's playing really good defense. He's focused a lot on defense. 2, he's facilitating the ball. Yes, they have Paul George. They have Towner on that team. But he's taking the stats down to do the same things that we get on Frank Ntilikina's potential about facilitating and defense. He's taken the flash, and his team has been a lot better, and they look like a threat in the West. So people want to kill me about Frank Ntilikina, go ahead. All your best point guards do at least 2 of those things that I said. They do it at a premium level. So say what you want. But, yeah, I think this thing has legs, man. I'll shut up.
I think it – I mean it could. I think it could just because, I mean, a lot of the things that you said with the way that Fizdale wants to play, it could definitely have some legs. Shout out to Jason Young. He said Dennis Smith Jr. won't fit on a team with Knox, KP, and Zion. You know what? I agree with you, Jason, 100%. I agree with you. Let's hope that the New York Knicks agree with you as well. I just don't know, because I seen someone else say in the chat that Fizdale it seems like Fizdale is having Frank Ntilikina really focus on his offense and not as much on developing his defense. And I feel like that's true, right? Let's be honest. Regardless of what Frank Ntilikina is averaging, regardless of his field goal percentage, we are seeing Frank Ntilikina try to attack the basket more this year. I would say that that's part of his development, right? He's trying to attack the basket a little bit more. He's trying to shoot a little bit more this year. These are things that he is trying to do. And I have a problem with that word, though. Because in basketball, most of the time, when you try to do things, you make a mistake. In basketball, things have to come natural. So you practice, you practice, you practice, you practice. When you get into the game, you play. Your hope is that what you practice is going to relate to the game. But when you get into the game and you try to do something, you force feed it, you make mistakes. It usually doesn't work. You have to practice a skill. You practice a skill, you practice a skill, and eventually it'll happen in the game. But I feel like Frank is trying to score. He's trying to be a scoring guard, or at least more of a scoring guard. And no, it's not having it. It's not successful. Some nights it is. It's not really successful because he's trying too hard instead of just letting the game come to him naturally. Fizdale said in the beginning of the year, we're going to let this guy, we're going to let Frank be Frank, right? We're going to let Frank be Frank. I don't see him letting Frank be Frank, right? I don't know. And I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. And I'm sure you would. Yes, you do want to encourage him to shoot when it's available, because there's been times when it just wasn't, a shot was available. He just passed it up. Last year, he did that a lot. Shots would be available and he would just pass it up. So you do want him to learn how to recognize when those shots are there. But, we've been seeing him try to force some things because that's the way the coach, it seems, that's the way the coach wants him to play. Right? And that's why, if that's the way the coach wants his guards to play, Dennis Smith Jr. fits that perfectly. And that's what scares me too about this trade, about the possibility of this trade and it actually having legs. You know what I mean? Israel, what do you think, man? And after you go to this, I have another question I'm going to ask you, Viv. What do you think, Israel?
First of all, you just said it lovely, man. The player that we want Frank to be is not going to happen because Fizdale's not going to let him be that player. He doesn't get the minutes, he doesn't get the chance, he doesn't get the opportunity because most of the minutes are going to Moutier right now. And listen, if we could get at least something back for Frank, because I know if he goes to another team, he's going to be a totally different player. If he went to San Antonio, he would have been a totally different player. So get something for him at least. And listen, if you throw in Tim Hardaway Jr. Yeah, exactly. Throw in Tim Hardaway Jr. into that package with Frank Ntilikina, I would do it. I would do it. You know what I mean? So to get what's it called? To get Dennis Smith Jr. and Wesley Matthews, if that's not even gonna happen. I don't think they're even gonna make that trade happen. But if we could throw in Tim Hardaway Jr., we can get rid of his contract. You know what I mean? It's gonna take off so much money off our books, and next year we might even have money to sign 2 free agents. You know what I mean? Maybe not top tier free agents, but at least one top tier free agent and a second a B level free agent. So at least we can get something for Frank right now, because I don't think with this coach. I mean, listen, I love Fizdale. I think he's a great coach, but I just don't think that he wants Frank to be the guy. He doesn't want to give the keys to Frank. So, you know what I mean? If we get something for him, man, that'll be great.
Yeah. All right, Viv. Let me ask you this, Viv.
Yep.
I seen in the chat a while back, and I don't remember who it was. Somebody said in the YouTube chat, they said, if the Knicks trade Frank Ntilikina for Dennis Smith Jr., Porzingis is gone. You take any credence in that?
No, and I'll tell you why. The reason he won't be gone is because he's not an unrestricted free agent. So he could say all he wants, but in the end, money talks, right? So he will see he'll see whatever offer. He'll see $120 million offer. Any team can offer him $120 million, and we'll just say, okay, we'll pick it up, and then he'll be with us. Now, unless something crazy happens, there's like a huge setback with his rehab or something that goes on between now and July 1st. Could things change? Probably. But if this front office is really different compared to the previous front offices, I don't see why they wouldn't re-up with KP, or at least if anything, match whatever offer sheet they get. I don't see why not. I mean, I think it would be complete malpractice if they don't do it. But no. Now, if I could just go back to the Dennis, I'll spend like less than a minute or so on this whole Dennis.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, to give context to why all this came up, right? So way back, maybe last month before, this was, I think, a Bill Simmons podcast. They were kind of touring around with like the ESPN, like the trade machine. So this trade proposal came up because the reason it came up was, Luka's playing well, right? Luka Doncic's playing well, and Dennis Smith Jr., he was kind of like and someone just brought this trade up for fun or whatever on a trade machine. And then only recently, on Monday or Tuesday, some guy on Twitter basically said, all right, he may have had a supposed source that said the same deal that was proposed in this podcast.
Right.
Now, I looked at the other stuff that he's claimed or claims it might happen. One of the other articles or things he's suggesting is that Ben Simmons will go to the Los Angeles Lakers because of Kendall Jenner. And the moment he posted that, I just completely discredited everything else he was going to say about it. Now, rumors aside, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the reason I don't really see a lot of this happening in the grand scheme of things. One is that this trade only happens in practicality if you trade Tim Hardaway Jr. Now, the problem with doing that is that in the current situation, you're going to end up having Dennis Smith Jr. or somebody playing the 2, right? Dennis Smith Jr. is going to have to be a 2 guard. And one of the biggest problems Dennis Smith Jr. had was that, he didn't want to play off the ball, right?
Right.
So, you still have Moutier on the team. So Moutier is still going to be the point guard. And you still got Dennis Smith Jr. And then even if you do this trade, right? You go in July 1st. There's no guarantee you're getting a max contract, right? We're not guaranteed that. And then now you got to fill up. You got to get your shooting guard because you just traded your shooting guard. Not saying Tim Hardaway Jr. is shooting guard of the future, but you just traded your shooting guard away. Now you got to find a shooting guard. Then you got to find whoever else you can get in the draft. So now you have no guarantee of getting a max in this contract, and you're gonna have to find a defensive guard because nobody on the team can play any defense. Plus, Moody is a free agent, so you're gonna have to get a point guard anyway. So trying to find someone who can play defense, it's gonna cost you at least $40 or $50 million at the minimum.
Right.
at the bare minimum at a point guard.
Now see, what I'm thinking is that if they were going to do it in the short run, yeah, there would be a conflict between Dennis Smith Jr. and and Emmanuel Mudiay. There'd be a definitely conflict of who's going to be the starting point guard there. In the future, I think if they brought in Dennis Smith Jr., they in their mindset, or if I were to bring in Dennis Smith Jr., I would be thinking that I'm probably not going to re-sign Mudiay because Dennis Smith Jr.'s contract is still, he still has whatever 3 years on his contract, 2 or 3 years left on his contract, and that I'd be moving Damian Dotson to the 2, which is a defensive guy who can. Listen, I honestly, to tell you the truth, Damian Dotson and Dennis Smith Jr. would probably fit very well together, right? Because Dennis Smith Jr. can attack the lane and kick it out to Dotson for open threes. They'd probably fit well together. If I'm looking at
that's like the poor, really poor man's equivalent of what the Thunder tried to do, or Thunder did with Russell Westbrook and I think Roberson. Just okay, you got your defensive 2. Granted, Dotson's a much better scorer than Roberson ever it will be or is, but I think I see that. But the problem is, again, from the other aspects of his game, right? Is he really a good enough passer to facilitate an offense? Can he make someone like Kevin Knox better? Can he give Mitchell Robinson those opportunities? Can he make those are a lot of questions. And
well, of course,
does he have the attitude to survive in New York, especially when and if things go rough? He's shown tendencies. I think he had some issues in NC State. He's whatever he dealt with early on this season. So I mean, look, unless you care about dunks and flashy plays, then I guess I get it from a cap perspective, but I don't really get it from a team perspective.
Yeah, I don't either. My fear is that the Knicks may feel like they get it from a team perspective. I can see how they would feel that he would be the guy. Mudiay would move out. Maybe Damian Dotson moves into that too. He plays the style of basketball they want. They can teach him how to be a defender. Right, he's still only 21 years old. They can teach him to be a defender. Fizdale can mentor this kid. Fizdale can develop. You get what I'm
get the sales pitch
at? Right? Yeah.
No, I understand that, but I guess the real question is, what is Fizdale's style? And have we really even seen Fizdale's style just yet?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Like, we don't have, like I said, like we said before, we don't have an identity. What is our team? Our identity actually is defensive. Our identity is we're going to be a scrappy team. Whether we have the ugliest offense in the history of the NBA, that's one thing. But at least we'll fight in games for 36 or 40 or 48 minutes. That's our identity, but that's not an offensive identity. That's just a style of play on like a hustle and defense perspective.
Yeah, I really do hope that this thing doesn't end up having any kind of legs, that it stays just as a rumor. But I just kind of feel like somewhere in there, Fizdale, Scott Perry, Steve Mills are looking and saying, what do you think? I can guarantee his name came up in conversations. I can guarantee that.
You know what the other thing is, though, Sim? Usually when there's a lot of rumors to like a particular trade, it usually just doesn't happen. Like, yeah. Of course. We tend to hear, he's going to go to this team, that team, and then he just doesn't. Then he either goes to a completely different team, or he stays with the same team.
Right. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. And what do you think, man?
I'm not. Got you, Zach. I'm not against moving Frank. I just don't think Dennis Smith is the guy to do it for. One, I don't think Dennis Smith is a guy that you bring into a development culture. Dennis Smith Jr. is the kind of guy that you bring into an established culture, right? You don't bring him into a culture you're building.
Right.
Like, I think that's a disaster waiting to happen. Frank, I have my own reservations about Frank. I'm still a Frank fan, right? But I put in the chat, Frank doesn't do anything with a purpose or authority, really. And I think that's his biggest issue. Like, I wouldn't call him a facilitator because he doesn't do anything really with a purpose right now. Everything, like you said, is second guessing. He's not getting the ball saying, okay, I'm making something happen. Frank doesn't make things happen. He reacts. And that's his problem right now. He does too much reacting instead of making stuff happen. And I think that's people seeing. People label it as he's scared or he's soft. But he's not. He's just reacting instead of making stuff happen. So if we're going to give up on Frank, it needs to be for somebody not named Dennis Smith Jr.
Okay.
I believe that our point guard of the future is in the draft, man. You wait. Get your hands on Ja Morant.
Okay. All right. Let me see what Ken. Let me see what Ken has to say. I think it's Ken, right? Ken, what's going on, man? What do you think? You gotta make sure you unmute it. You gotta unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. There you go.
I mean, pretty dark praise, and like I also don't like the game of and Cannon and Tim Hardaway Jr. and Alonzo Kane. You have to.
You're breaking up on me, my man. You're breaking up. It's hard for me to hear. He's breaking up. Say that again. Yeah, it's hard to say it. Yeah, you might need to type it because you're breaking up. When it's on speakerphone, a lot of times it breaks up. It breaks up a lot of times when you're on speakerphone. All right. One other thing, but stay in the chat. We still want you to stay in the chat, my man. Stay in the chat. We'll find a way to get it. Get you clear. If you can get some headphones, that would really help out a whole lot. Okay. The trade deadline is coming up. We know it, right? It's coming up, and I mean, what is it? Is it February 8th, maybe, the trade deadline? I think it's February 8th or something like that. I'm going to ask you two questions. One, I want to know, what do you want to see the Knicks do? Right? We talked about Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank Ntilikina, but what do you want to see the Knicks do? Then I'm going to run down the roster, and we're going to look and say, keep them or trade them. Do we trade this person or do we keep this person? Right? So, I want to know what you think the Knicks should do. All right, because we're only a couple weeks away from the trade deadline, and things are going to pick up hot and heavy. All right, things are going to pick up nice, hot and heavy. Is going to be a lot to talk about. Let me see, Guillermo, I'm going to come to you. Do you want to see it? Oh, look, but before I get to that, hey, Chester, I just want to let you know, I see you in the chat, man. I just want to let you know, I put Isaiah in his place. I let him know that you was not the one eating the chicken. I let him know for you, my man. Isaiah tried to put it on you. He tried to place the blame elsewhere. I let him know. All right, so I'm just letting you know, Chester, that I let him know. All right. Guillermo, what do you think, man? Do you want to see the Knicks? What do you want to see the Knicks do at the deadline?
I want to see the Knicks. Two things, and two guys I need to see go. I don't even care if they just cut him or send him to another sport. Cantor and Tim Hardaway got to go. Like, I will say, man, I was watching this game, man, and obviously the turnovers hurt. But watching those young kids play, especially in the first 3 quarters, and anything that didn't have to do with Tim Hardaway, man, it was fun to watch, man. Like, it was fun to watch Knox. I mean, Trier. Was it Trier? I can't remember the 3. I know it was Cornette, Dotson, someone else had really good first halves, whatever. We need to see these young guys play. I don't want to see Tim Hardaway sound. I don't want to see Cantors just melodramatic. Those guys got to go. And also another thing, we have to capitalize. Look, if 76ers want to give us a first round, if they get desperate and want to give us a first rounder for Vonleh, as much as I like Vonleh and I want to see him here next year develop, you got to get that first rounder or a very high second rounder. So any guy that can go for a high draft picks in terms of like high second, or if someone's desperate, a low first, we got to get rid of that. We have to build for the future. We got to get as much talent we can for the draft, as much capital. So get rid of Cantor and Tim Hardaway automatically. I don't care what you got to do. And Vonleh, if you can. I don't know what we get from him.
Okay. And just to clear up, my man that was in the chat and we couldn't hear his we couldn't hear him. He said I don't like the way I don't like the way Cantor, Tim Hardaway Jr., Trier, those guys play because they play ISO basketball. He doesn't like ISO basketball. He also said, oh, that's it. He said because he hates ISO basketball. That's what he was trying to say. We just couldn't hear him. So, big shout out to Ken from Japan, all the way from Japan. Hopefully, he can get his headphones, he can get things clear, and he can come back and join us so we can hear him clearly. But yeah, Guillermo, that's what I would like to see. I think that's my two biggest things right there is, to get Tim Hardaway out of there, and if we can find a way to move Tim Hardaway or Courtney Lee or both. Right, because I'd like to see Courtney Lee play somewhere, and use and free up, move it. Let somebody take the salary, absorb the salary, whatever it is, so that we can have that cap space in 2019. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping. I hope that happens. I don't know. I thought that it was going to be a quiet deadline for the New York Knicks. It's turning out that maybe there's going to be some legs someplace. There's been talks. I guess the Knicks brought up some stuff about, Cantor and Jabari Parker, which we talked about not too long ago.
Why Jabari Parker? You'd bring him in as like he would eat up Knox's miss. Like if you brought another center, the center I wanted, but he's gonna go to Golden State would have been your man Lopez. Robin Lopez, because he could play defense and he would be great for our front court. But you bring a guy like Jabari Parker, he's just taking minutes away from Knox. Like,
I
and he say he doesn't play defense. Thank you, Isaiah. He's proud to not play defense. So
right. I agree. He probably would. He would be taking some minutes away. I think the only benefit that the Knicks would get is that you clear another like $2 million off of your cap. I don't know if that means anything or not. Sometimes those little bits and pieces mean something in the long run when it comes to free agency. I don't know. Because I think Jabari Parker makes $20 million. Cantor's around $18 million. If you do just a straight up swap, then the Knicks will clear a little bit extra off their cap. I don't know. I don't know if
right, but then we have to add more, right?
No, you don't, because I think within like 25, if the salaries are within like 25% of each other, you can make the trade. Something like that. Yeah. Israel, what do you think, man?
I actually think I was reading this article on I was on what's the call? Hold on, let me just mute these guys. I can't hear you.
All right.
I was reading up on I was going through my internet the other day and I was reading up on how Utah is actually are putting Ricky Rubio on the trade block right now because Dante Exum has been like actually balling this year for them and they need another shooter. So if they could try to package a deal for Frank, Tim Hardaway Jr. and then maybe throw in like a second round pick for Ricky Rubio, I will do that in a heartbeat because I feel like Ricky Rubio is the type of player that we need. He's a great passer. He plays defense. He wants to get other guys involved. And, when KP's going to come back, that's the type of player that, to be honest with you, man, I want to go back to Frank, but Frank had such a great season last year when KP played. The pick and rolls that they both had, man, it was just something special to watch, man. The games that they played together when him and KP played together was great, man. But I don't think it's going to happen with Fizdale, with Frank. So if we could get a Ricky Rubio out of that deal, man, that would be great.
Now, the Jazz signed Ricky Rubio last year? Or did they sign him? Yeah, they signed him. I'm not sure how much, how long they signed him for.
I think he has 2 years left.
How long has he got left?
I don't know. I think he has like 2 years left on his contract. No?
2 years? Let me see.
1 year. 1 year. So
1 year left on his contract?
Oh, he's expiring this year. Wow.
He's expiring this year. Okay. How much? I'm pulling it up now. How much does he make this year? Ricky Rubio.
Listen, if you get rid of Tim Hardaway Jr., if they need a shooter, please take him. Please just take him. Take it and go. Like my man Russell Simmons said. Take it and go. Take it and go.
Let me see. Ricky Rubio makes $14.8 million this year, and yeah, he's expiring this year. Yep, he's expiring this year. Maybe hey, I'm pretty sure. I did hear about Ricky Rubio. His name being mentioned in trade talks.
Because Dante Exum has been playing really good basketball for them.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, the thing with Rubio is he, I don't know what he's shooting this year, but historically, he hasn't been a shooter. He hasn't been a guy that can shoot the ball.
He actually got his jump shot. His jump shot became a little better. This year, he actually became a little like a decent offensive player. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of their games, man. And I don't think, listen, I don't know, man. To get rid of Tim Hardaway Jr. in any package, I will throw anybody in there, to be honest with you right now.
Okay.
AP.
So that's the big thing. And the thing is, I don't know if the Knicks want to get rid of Tim Hardaway Jr. though. You know what I mean? They got that relationship. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Maybe only Fizdale's the only that might not want to get rid of him, but I think I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have all you guys unmuted, all right? And then I'll just go around. So, let's try to keep it down. If you have anything playing in the background, turn it down. Isaiah mainly, you know what I mean? Isaiah and Mark's not in here, but if Mark was in here, I'd have to tell him to turn his TV down too.
Tell him to turn his caps off.
You know what I mean? All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw out a player's name, and you tell me, do we keep him? Do we trade him? All right, or what we do? What we do with this guy? All right, the first person on the roster is Kadeem Allen, but we're not gonna talk about him right now. He's on a 2-way contract. Trey Burke, what do we do?
Trade.
All right, Ant. I'm gonna just go around. What do you think, Ant? Do we trade him? Do we keep him to the end of the year? What do you?
I say keep him. End of the year.
Keep him to the end of the year. Let his contract expire.
Yeah.
That do-rag too tight.
Who's the backup to trade him?
Viv, what do you do?
I keep him. Nobody else wants him anyways.
Probably not, unless he's there to make salaries match or whatever.
No, they need a bench cheerleader. He can cheer people on.
Okay. Isaiah?
Trade him.
Guillermo, what do you do?
You can't get a good second, man. I'd keep him as like a sub.
As a sub, okay. Israel, what do you do?
Yeah, I agree with Guillermo. I think trade him. If we get a second round pick, we trade him for a second round pick. If not, just whatever's right him out for the end of the season already.
Okay. I think I know the answer to this one already. Damian Dotson.
Keep him.
Keeping Damian Dotson. I think I know the answer to this one. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Trade. Throw in the garbage.
Trade.
Try to trade him.
For a bag of chips.
Is there anyone, even in the YouTube chat, that wants to keep Tim Hardaway Jr.? If so, please call in.
This is a setup. Tim gonna ban you from his channel if you say it.
We gotta find out if they related to Tim or not.
Stay off the weed.
That's why I don't know. If anyone thinks we should keep Tim Hardaway Jr., join us in appearing, call in something. I want to hear and know why. And we just got someone new join us in the chat. My man, what's your name? And maybe you can turn your phone, because right now we see you sideways. Oh, he jumped out. Never mind, he jumped out.
He's a Tim Hardaway Jr. fan. That's why he jumped out.
That's crazy.
So public enemy to come in. He's saying keep him.
A public enemy says keep him.
Wait, Sim, can I say one thing, Sim?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. This is for everybody, and this is what I hate about our chat sometimes. All the trolls say that we all agree. Why don't y'all come on the chat?
Man, we've been this, man. We've been.
Dami, son, Troy Flint, Lily Phillips.
Someone came in the chat.
Raven. Oh yeah. Always hate on us, but come on to the chat.
No, someone did it like a couple days ago, didn't they? Come on.
Someone Rise or something like that.
Yeah, someone. Yeah,
you know,
one of those guys.
We've been through it. Sooner or later, they'll come in. They'll come in there. They'll come in there one of these times. All right.
Nevada sooner or later too.
What you say?
I said it is snow in Africa sooner or later too.
All right, next one, Mario Hezonja. What do we do?
Keep him.
Keep
him.
Keep him. Nobody wants him anyways.
All right.
Yeah, but he's not as bad as a piece that people try to make him out to be.
No, but like no one's gonna trade for him anyways. I don't think anyone needs him.
I agree, but I think he's a solid piece.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me see. We got two new guys in the chat. My man with the Knicks jersey. Want to introduce yourself?
Nah, I mean, son.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, my man.
Afro man.
Yes.
I ain't hear you, bro.
Afro man.
Afro man. Okay. Afro man.
Oh, I was right.
Is that what you said? You said Afro man? And then the other guy, what's your name?
You can call me E.
E? All right. So right now, everybody, I got
sell drugs.
Listen. Hey, everybody is. Hey, chill out with that, man, because you can't say that.
Isaiah, you're not muted.
Oh, come on, man.
You're a fool,
You can't say that. You can't be saying that kind of stuff. Some people take that stuff serious, man, for real.
But
listen. Everybody is unmuted, so everyone is live. So let's talk one at a time. All right, let's talk one at a time, so that we don't get all confused and everything. All right. Let me see. So the next person we got Isaiah Hicks. What do we do with Isaiah Hicks? Now, are we allowed to trade?
No, you can't. You can't trade.
You can't trade it two ways.
Two-way contracts.
Right.
No.
Okay.
What does he do? What
does he do?
Even in spurts, I wasn't impressed. I just think he's another body.
He's a body. He's another player for the Westchester Knicks. So he'll come up after the trade deadline. He'll get us 45 days in it, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, Isaiah Hicks is right now. He's like, remember the dude from France that we had?
I knew you were gonna say that, Sim. I knew you were gonna bring that dude.
he's that dude right now. Like,
Labrie.
Yeah. Like he would come over every year for summer league, and maybe he has a chance to make the team this year, and he's like all about summer league. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Hicks is that guy right now.
Yeah, keep him in Westchester.
Yeah. Okay, I think I know the answer to this, and that's Cantor.
Come on. Sign him to a 5-year, $200 million.
Yeah. Right.
Baseball contract.
Yeah, exactly. No, let him go.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah. I think Cantor. If the Knicks can't find a trade for Cantor after the deadline, they'll probably waive him by like March 1st or whenever that deadline is for players to be able to join another roster for the playoffs. So I think that'll happen. That would be the right thing in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think he overstayed his welcome.
Yeah, I think that'd be the right thing to do. I'd like to see he's got that expiring contract. It's something that is movable. He is a player that has some value, I think, because he can score in the post, he can rebound the basketball. Some playoff team may value him. Maybe it's a way we can get something for him. Right? Okay. Yeah, I mean, no brainer. Kevin Knox. We're keeping Kevin Knox.
Keep him.
I mean, if I see somebody say to trade Kevin Knox in the chat, I'm taking him. I'm just gonna take him out. I'm taking him out the chat. I'm looking at the chat. If I see somebody say to trade Kevin Knox, I'm gonna block him from the chat for like
trade Kevin Knox with LeBron James.
Mark would say it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
LeBron James.
Nah, yeah, he would say it.
All right. Let me get this phone call right quick. We'll come right back to it. This might be somebody that wants to keep Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping? Guys, you guys are still live.
Hello?
Hello? Caller, you there?
That's not Tony Cruz.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, what's going on with you, man? Who am I speaking with?
It's Nate from Rochester.
Nate, what's going on, man? How you? Hey, you got? I know you guys getting ready for the snow, right?
I'm good. I just wanted to touch on the point about trading Tim. I know a lot of people want to get rid of him. The only thing is, like, you think about next year, he's going to be an expiring, I think, because he has this year and next year on his contract, right?
Let me see. Tim Hardaway.
He has one more year, but it's a player option.
Oh.
Yeah. He has a whole year after this year.
So next year, we're going to probably pick up a free agent. Hopefully, that's the plan. And then you think about teams that, like, because Tim Hardaway, like, he's a good shooter. Like, when he's open, he plays in the system. Like, you've seen that in Atlanta. So as long as, like a playoff team that has more structure, like, they'll get more out of him than we'd get out of him. So you think about next year, we're not necessarily competing. His value, it'll increase as his contract goes on. So the longer we hold on to him, the more we might be able to get for him. So instead of trading for him now, we might not get as much because, like, it's a bad contract.
Okay.
But you think about next year, like, there's more you can get out of him if you kind of, like, think about it. You know what I mean? If you just, like, look into the future. Because we're not doing anything this year, so, like, getting rid of him now, we won't get as much assets for him, and we're probably not going to compete next year. That's all I really want to say.
Okay, you know what? I get what he's saying. I get what you're saying. What you say your name is again?
Nate. I was on I called in the video chat, but I don't think my audio is working, so I just wanted to call in.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you know what? I definitely get what you're saying. I get that. That makes sense. That makes sense because he is right. So next year, Tim Hardaway makes $18.1 million, and then after next season, he'll be a free agent. Well, he'll have a player option. If he takes the player option, which he will, because it's $18.9 million, and I doubt, unless he's like has a super season next year, I doubt he's going to get more on the open market. He'll take the player option, and then he'll be, he'll have an expiring contract, and then he could. That could be the truth.
So the only reason why I want to trade Tim is for the fact of a free agent, right? So other than that, there's no rush to trade him if we're not signing a big time free agent. So I wouldn't mind waiting until the summer, checking the temperature on a couple guys, and if it seems like we got some traction, then trading them. I wouldn't mind waiting it out.
Let's see.
Because honestly, like, I didn't mean to cut him off, but like,
go ahead.
Like, we look at our team now. Do we really think we're going to get like any like super like good free agent? Like, because me personally, I don't think KD's coming here. I don't think Kemba Walker wants to go. You know what I mean? So like, like,
I think
we're not in a rush to compete right now. Like, we're bad. Like, that's all I gotta say.
See,
just like wait.
See, I would. The reason why I would want to.
Kyrie wants to go back to LeBron.
One.
That's all posturing.
We live.
Hold up, guys. One, I obviously I don't like the way Tim Hardaway plays, but two, we may not get a free agent this summer. You're right. We probably won't get a free agent this summer. But in 2020, there's going to be more money that opens up for the Knicks, and then we still have Tim Hardaway's contract on the books. If we couldn't get rid of him this year, I would definitely want to try to get rid of him in 2019, 2020, because that's summer of 2020.
The goal is to get rid of him. Like, he has no place on this team. Like, obviously. So I'm saying, like, his value will go up, like, the longer we keep him. Because I don't think he's a bad player. I just don't think he fits with, like, at least what we think would be a good team. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I'm with you. All right,
so,
man. Go ahead, Viv.
So the tricky part about it, right, is that he has a player option next summer. But if he plays well, then we're more inclined to want to keep him because if he's playing well, we're probably winning games. So we may not be motivated to get rid of him. But if we're losing games, that means he's not going to play that well. So I don't think, if we're losing a lot of games, I don't know if we get, that much better value if we try to get him now, if we try to trade him now, than trading him, say next year, because he may still pick up that option, if he's in the market.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Nate, I appreciate the call, my man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. And if if you can figure out how to get that, I don't know who. Somebody's moving around, getting some noise, man. I don't know what's going on. But if there's a way you can get your audio working, man, feel free to join us.
Word.
Got it. In the chat. All right, later, man. Hey, I know.
Right,
hey, listen, I'm gonna be in Albany tomorrow, and I know Sunday we're expected to have 12 inches of snow, so be safe out there.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, take it easy.
Later. Good call, and that makes it, makes a lot of sense about Tim Hardaway. I still want to trade him. I ain't gonna lie. I still want to trade him, but caller makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Caller makes a lot of sense. Yeah, go ahead.
How bad would Steve Mills feel if we really had a legit shot at Kevin Durant this summer, but because of him signing Tim Hardaway last summer, how do you think he'd feel about that?
Yeah, you know what? I think he'd be. I just didn't understand why he made that signing without bringing in a general manager first. It didn't make sense. It was crazy. I don't know. I don't know why why wouldn't you bring in a general manager and then make that decision? I don't know. Yeah, if it were me, I'd feel pretty stupid. I'd look back on it and say, "Damn, I should have waited." But and Steve Mills for you. Steve Mills. All right, let me see. We got some other guys. Let's see who this is trying to get back in. Nick G's jumping back in. All right. I got you guys. I got everybody unmuted. So let's, All right, let's keep it cool. Next person, Luke Cornett. Keep Luke Cornett. All right. I think that's pretty much a consensus among everybody. Courtney Lee.
Trade him if you can.
Yeah, trade him if you can.
That's a tougher one for me. I like Courtney Lee's role on this team, but the $12 million is kind of.
What, the hand clapper?
Yeah.
I feel like Courtney Lee, he needs a lot of touches to get in rhythm, and I don't think with all these young guys he has a spot to do that. Because I've seen him this year, and literally he's bricking shots, but then like when he takes like 4 or 5 shots and he starts hitting a few, then it's like, oh, okay, you see it, but nah, I don't. To take away minutes from Dotson and even Trier and some of these other guys, nah.
I just think development reasons, we need to keep one of Courtney Lee or Lance Thomas on this team. We need a vet.
Might as well go to the other guy.
Got to keep one of them. I agree with you, Ant. I think we got to keep one of them.
I'd rather keep Lance Thomas because
I'd rather keep Courtney Lee. Jesus.
No. I would rather keep Lance Thomas too.
Lance Thomas, I think, does more than Courtney Lee off the bench, and
that never worked.
Lance Thomas' defense and his shooting just been kind of bad this year. But the guy hustles for balls. He passes. When he can, he facilitates. Not like he's a great facilitator, but he's very unselfish. And I take that versus a guy who needs to get hot or needs to get going to show any productivity, and he does nothing else really but kind of score. So
for me, it's not the production. More, it's actually Lance Thomas is a better asset next year, anyways. And he's a guy we can just keep on the bench, and we don't feel guilty about it in any sort of way. So he'll at least be like a good vet in that aspect.
Yeah,
but he's not Draymond Green. You got a little Fizz the Carson, man.
Right.
I said that before Fizz, by the way.
He's one step above Jared Jeffries. Now let me check.
My man E, what do you think, man?
I think we should keep Lance and trade Courtney Lee. Lance is on a more favorable contract.
Yeah.
And he's a vet. We need that.
Yeah, $7 million.
We need a vet on the team. We can't stay without a vet. We need a vet.
Right. You gotta have one. Gotta have a vet on the team. Just to help mentor these guys. All right, let's see who's next on the list. Emmanuel Mudiay.
Trade.
Oh Lord, is Prince here?
Ooh.
Thank God. All right, now we can criticize.
He's the only functioning point guard we have right now.
I'm sure Prince is listening in, man. And I'm sure Prince is listening in.
Got the shotgun.
He's cool though, man. He knows what's up.
I say keep him.
Opinion. Okay.
I say keep him, but just be curious if anyone tries to ask for him.
Yeah, blow you away. Like if someone does something stupid, take it. But
yeah, I agree. Yeah, you fleece some idiotic team who wants to take Moutier. Please.
I don't see a lot of teams wanting him, but if they do, then
right.
Let's think about it.
Okay, so look, if we keep Moutier, what happens in the summer with Moutier?
Oh, let him go.
If we could sign Kyrie, oh my bad, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you could get a Kyrie, because I think Kyrie's just playing games right now. I think he wants to leave the Celtics. I do that, but if you fail in getting any free agent, obviously keep Moutier. If you can get a guy like, it sounds crazy, like a KD, you won't really need a Moutier. I know people are going to kill me for this, but I'd rather have a more established guy like Frank. But I would just say you don't need a Moutier with a KD, because remember, KD hated playing with Russell Westbrook, a scoring first point guard. So if that happens, I trade Moutier as long as we get somebody. But if we don't get anybody, give him some okay contract, and if he rejects, then move on.
Well, I was just about to say that again. I mean,
to get anyone, and you can do this all the way up until the last minute. To get anyone, you're gonna have to release his hold, right? You're gonna have to release his hold, which he'll then become an unrestricted free agent. He'll go out and test the market. So, but the Knicks are in the position where they don't have to release that hold until they know they have a contract with a player. You know what I mean? Then they can release his hold and the money clears off the books.
Yeah, my thing is like, I'm just not. I just would be extremely mad with the Knicks this summer if they gave Moody a contract that ranges from like $7 to $10 million. I would just be mad about it. I just wouldn't like that, because it was like, we're gonna pay a backup to play with KP next year. That just doesn't compliment.
We'll see what happens.
KP and Kevin Knox.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. His cap hold is like $12 million, I think, something like that.
Oh.
His cap hold is
what you can also do, Sim, is you can also remove the cap hold, and you can, if you know that he's not worth $12 million, you can drop the cap hold. You can sign him for like $6 or $7 or whatever $1 million it is, and then just then sign whatever free agents you want in the process.
Right. Okay. All right, Frank Ntilikina.
I'm not answering this.
But I would put fillers out on him, but I'd keep him.
You put feelers out on him, but you keep him.
Yep. See what teams value him at. See if someone's willing to give you something of real value.
So I feel like no team will do that. I bet you a team will fleece us. Like a team with a good system will fleece us, and we'll look stupid, and we'll be like, "Wow, we could have kept him, or we should have traded him for even more value." But I feel like every team is just gonna play him low for right now, because we're not utilizing him correctly. So I'd rather just keep him.
I say keep him, and if you do trade him, don't trade him to get rid of cap space.
Right, trade him for value.
Yeah,
right. Because no, I don't think any team like you said, Graham. I don't think any team is going to offer anything for him or give up anything, because right now, any team, any general manager can look and say, whether or not they believe it, say this kid might be a bust. I'm saying he's trending towards a bust. That's what they could say right now. Whether or not they believe it, they could say he's trending towards a bust. This is all that we're willing to give you for him. All the while in their heart saying, you know what, we think we can turn this guy into a this or that.
I don't think you get any more than you will get, say, next year if you traded him. So, it may be better to just hold off and see what he is first.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and like you said, oh my bad, Sim. Like with the Dennis Smith Jr. trade, I'm starting to think teams around the league are probably think like at least Carlisle has to be thinking in his head. Maybe all that stuff about hyping Frank, pre-draft, maybe all that stuff has some value. Because why would you give up Dennis Smith Jr. that quickly after his second year? I understand, look, his stats have dipped a little bit, but after the second year, you're ready to train for Frank if those rumors are true. So the league knows something about Frank, and they know something about Dennis Smith Jr. in regards to the true value. And the Knicks better not mess up this hand. Like, I wouldn't even make that trade. But
yeah. E, what do you think? What would you do, E? Would you keep Frank and trade Frank?
You got to keep him. You got to keep him. You got to keep him, but just leave the door open a little bit to see what teams will offer for him. But you got to keep him. He's still young. He's still only 20 years old.
Right.
You got to keep him.
Right. I really want to know, and I seen someone say in the chat that the Mavs came out and said that they don't want to trade Dennis Smith Jr. anymore. I didn't see that anywhere. Maybe they did. But why would they have wanted to trade him in the first place? You know, that's the things that I really want to know. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing about Dennis Smith Jr. He's only in his second year in the league. He's put up, you know, he hasn't been a super duper player, but he's put up decent, you know, okay numbers. Yeah, but
right? Dallas is an argument that they want to play Luka Doncic as point guard.
Right.
So, you know, that's probably less of a reflection on Dennis Smith Jr. and just more of the fact that, look, we got Luka and we think he's a point guard of the future. And, you know, no offense to Dennis Smith Jr., but I think Luka's better. So, yeah, that's probably what their mindset is.
And they don't think that Dennis Smith Jr. can play off the ball. So,
right. And which I think they've already seen that he can't play off the ball that well. So,
yeah. Okay. All right. Next on the plate is Kristaps Porzingis.
Trade him for Dragon Bender.
For who?
I would say this, Sim. I would say this. Would you trade him for Brandon Ingram?
No.
I'm not saying I would.
I wouldn't.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Why? I'm just putting.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, what would be the consideration? And let's be realistic. I wouldn't trade KP. But what would be the realistic ceiling right now if someone would say, "Hey, we would trade you this, that for KP"?
You'd be another young superstar.
Another young superstar, or maybe one or two superstars.
If you give me, this is the low ball. If you give me Ingram and Kuzma in the first rounder, I give you KP.
That's an Anthony Davis package.
You said Ingram and Kuzma in the first rounder. You know what? I might do that too. I'm not even gonna lie. I might do that too.
I'll do that.
Yeah, that's a lot right there.
Yeah, I might do that. Or if the Celtics were like, I'm gonna give you Jason Tatum. You know, Jaylen Brown for KP.
Oh man,
that's why guys like KP don't get traded often, though, because it's not realistic.
Exactly. But that's the thing. Yeah. But that's the thing, right? That's the thing. His asking price would be so high that it would fleece it would defeat the purpose for the Celtics to trade Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for KP. It would defeat the purpose, right?
We have to also remember that KP is the current cash cow for the Knicks.
Right, he's our franchise player.
That is true.
Exactly.
And we know one thing about cash cows: they stay around as long as we don't have any other cash cows. So,
but Vivek, if that knee is not healthy and he looks hobbled, we are screwed.
Oh no! That's a different story. I mean,
no. But right, but put like this: if that knee is not, if it's like it's never going to heal properly, he's too weird and tall or whatever. That means we didn't get enough. We didn't get the value. I mean, it's like betting, right? It's tough. And then you're also looking at like that cash cow is going to dry real quick. Who cares about a guy who's 7 feet or whatever, not playing and just in a wheelchair watching all the games? Like he's not, the Knicks.
So we don't really know in the end. So
we don't. That's what I'm saying. It's scary. It's a very, I don't know.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. What would be the ceiling? What would y'all take that would blow y'all away? I said Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
I don't even think that would do it for me.
Let me ask you guys this. The rumors were last year that the Celtics were willing to give up Jaylen Brown and I believe the pick that became Jason Tatum for KP.
Yeah,
do any of you regret if that was actually the case? Do any of you regret not making that trade?
Nah.
No, because
you know why? They did that when KP was healthy, and honestly, Sim, before KP got hurt, he was putting up quasi MVP numbers before he got hurt. So now
we would still be the best player. Because KP's the best player out of those three.
Jaylen Brown's game, he's a good defensive player, but he needs touches as well because you see him struggling a little bit with the Celtics. And Jason Tatum, even though he got the Mamba mentality thing this summer, he's still up and down. Like, he has some really good games, but he's inconsistent. KP, last year, in the beginning of the season last year, he was like...
That boy was bad. That boy was bad.
It was like, oh, the Knicks got it. The Knicks got it.
Listen, it was so bad, we thought Sim hated KP. We don't forget that.
I know.
Isaiah just wanted to put that in there.
But seriously, though, people really thought that I hated KP just because I have my criticisms of the guy. And I still have the same criticisms. It's just he hasn't played this year, so, I haven't seen if any of that has changed. But... next year people are gonna say that I'm a KP hater again because I'm gonna have my I'm gonna have my criticisms of KP.
I mean, you can have criticisms that hate KP, but from a strategic standpoint, you can still want to keep him on the team because strategically makes sense.
But we all know KP's not going anywhere. If anyone was going to trade for KP, the asking price would be so crazy it would be ridiculous, and rightfully so, right? Because of the ceiling that KP could possibly have, is is crazy.
Right,
look. You know what's funny though? Listen to Esco said, "Don't make me call in." You guys can't even see it. I'm gonna show it. Don't make me call in. And I'm looking at the chat, right? I'm looking at the chat, and people actually think right now that we are advocating for trading KP.
Listen,
we are not. Hey, YouTube chat. We are not advocating to trade for KP. We are simply to trade KP. We're not advocating to trade KP. We are simply talking about would the Knicks trade KP, and what we said is that the asking price for KP would be so crazy because of who he is that no, it's not gonna.
They said I'm a pessimist because I try to get trade value. It's like every GM does this. Every GM does this.
You know what? For real, honestly, if a GM is not looking at the value for any of their players, then they're not doing their job. Right? Exactly. That's the GM's job. That is the GM job.
I'll tell you one thing, Sam. In KP's class, like in the players his age, there's about 3 to 5 guys that have a chance to be the best player in the league, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't think you trade that guy, unless you get another one of those guys.
Right. Okay, I got you. And someone said, about me, Devontae Wilson here, Sim, it's your tone when you talk about KP. Well, you know what? When I coach, I am the hardest on my best players. I'm sorry. Right?
Yes.
I am the hard. I do things with my best players that for some of the other players I don't even do. If I give my best player, I might say a rule that you can't take shots from a certain area, right? And if they do it, every time you take a shot from that area, you're getting 50 push-ups, right? Because I expect my best players to be the leaders, right? So I'm trying to teach them leadership skills. They got to lead by example. I want them to lead with their character and all those type of things, right? So I put more responsibility on them, right? What's the saying? To whom much is given, much is earned, whatever it is, right? The more you have, the more responsibility you have, right? So I'm toughest on my best players. I just am. I'm toughest on my best players. I make them work a little harder, right? One, because I want them to get better, but two,
people used to really argue with Sim. That was funny.
But two. You got to show if you're going to discipline everyone on the team, you got to start with the best player, right?
And Sim, it's just
you got to start with the best player. So that's why
if your leader knows how to follow, then the people that follow them will know how to lead.
Exactly. Great saying. Right. So no, I'm not advocating for the trade. None of us are advocating the trade for KP. We're simply having a conversation, my friends. All right. But that is the reason why I am hardest, and maybe it just comes from just a habit from coaching. But that's why maybe it sounds like that when I'm talking about KP. That's it, you know, because I'm the same way with my best players. I'm toughest on them. I'm very tough on them. You know what I mean?
So
all right.
Love KP.
Next player. Right? Next player. Mitchell Robinson, I think.
Ooh, Keith.
Yeah, Keith.
Yeah, come on, that's not
It was fun to watch him today, man.
Yeah, nice to see him back. Mitchell Robinson, obviously we're going to keep him. We got Lance Thomas, who I think we talked about Lance Thomas already.
Yeah, we did.
You got to keep. You got to keep.
I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of people in the chat that are like, you know, going to say to trade Lance Thomas, but I think it's a good idea to keep him too. Right, because you know you got to have some veteran leadership. He's not going to complain about his role, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we keep Lance Thomas. You know what I mean? Let's see, who are we next? Alonzo Trier. Clearly, you're going to keep Zoe.
Yeah, you can't trade him anyway, so it's a moot point.
You said you can't trade him anyway because of when he signed his contract.
Yeah.
Right, because of when he signed his contract. All right. The last one, and this one will probably be a point of contention. Noah Vonleh.
Trade him.
All right. So Viv says trade him.
You know what really aggravates me about Noah Vonleh is that we're the ones that really gave him a chance to really play. Now we're not being able to keep him. Now we're pissing me.
That's the nature of one-year contracts. So you can't. That's the nature. That's just the beast.
But then again, the only reason why we think we can't re-sign him, and I'm a victim of it too, or I'm guilty of it, is we want that free agent. See what I'm saying? Like if.
Also remember, he plays the same position KP does.
Finally in the book. In the plans.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they want to give a first rounder for him, you gotta. A year we'll get a first rounder for Vonleh. People thought Vonleh would be a spot bench player coming into the year. For a first rounder.
I'm just thinking about something that I just crossed my mind. Remember how we thought Kyle Quinn was going to get a big payday? What if it's like that with Noah?
I don't know if Noah has different.
It's a possibility because we really thought KO was going to get a payday.
Yeah, but Kylo Quinn was already he was 28 when you know, like there was no ceiling. There was no additional ceiling to Kylo Quinn's game. Noah Vonleh, we just started to unlock things in his game.
Yeah, but even with Noah Vonleh, it would be one thing if Noah Vonleh, I don't know what his win shares are. But you know, if Noah Vonleh was transcendent, like if he tapped into this transcendent player like a McCollum, like we got McCollum in his second year with the Blazers or something like that, and he was winning games, I think you get big trade value from it. But Noah Vonleh, as much as he's improved, he's still a project. Like, what team would really look at him and say he's our third best scorer in the team? Or he's
it's not a question of the third best scorer, but you can have him be a serviceable, like one of those
backups on jack of all trade. But would you give him a first round?
If I'm Philly, if you're desperate, you could do it.
Right. If you're desperate, look, if we can fleece any team for anybody, do it. But for Vonleh, I'm just saying I don't know if I would give him up for a cheap second round. I just don't know. I would have to get a low.
See, I think the deal is to go to Philly and get either the Bulls pick or their first round pick. If you can do that, then run with it.
The Bulls pick? They're not giving the Bulls.
They could give it the Bulls pick.
Now look. Now my thing about my thing about Noah Vonleh is this. I feel like Vonleh, the things that he does on the floor will translate to a good basketball team, in my opinion. Right? He rebounds. If you can rebound, in my opinion, if you can rebound, you can rebound. Right? If you can rebound on a team that wins 10 games. You can rebound on a team that's winning 30 games right now. If you're getting the minutes. He's a competent three-point shooter. He can advance the basketball. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He plays with a lot of energy. Right? All those type of things I think can translate to a good basketball team. If he can do it consistently, and I think he can maybe do it consistently.
I'm gonna say he'll fit really nice in Brooklyn.
Right. So my thing is, we don't know what he's gonna demand on the market. If I understand, and again, we're doing a play for free agency, right? Because we want to we want to maximize free agency. But if we have a player that is doing for us right now things that we know that we're going to need in the future, and we think this guy can possibly do it in the future, why do we get rid of him unless we just can't afford him, right? But then
we can't match the contract. So if some team offers you like 4 and 40, right, it's not like we can say, okay,
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And then I also do understand, but the thing is, we don't know what his value is on the free market right now. We really don't know what his value is going to be. So, but I also understand the whole concept of buying low and selling high. So it really is difficult with Noah Vonleh, because that's what you would be doing, buying low and then selling high.
Right now, do you?
You know what I mean? And listen, you guys that just joined us, feel free to, I got you guys live. You guys are live, right? So you can, you can feel free to join into the conversation. We're just trying to, make sure that everybody is giving each other, a chance to talk. So it's not a whole bunch of talking over top of each other, but, feel free to join in on the conversation.
Moutier sucks.
Yeah.
You better watch it. Prince ain't feeling that. My man Prince not feeling that.
He ain't got to. It's the truth. Moutier he's a volume shooter, and I don't want to say anybody, but a lot of players in the NBA could put up the numbers that he put up with the freedom that Fizdale gives him. Wow. Every time it's a crunch time possession, he has no value for the possession. He will come down and turn the ball over 3 straight times in a row with no conscience whatsoever. I mean, it's like a running back fumbling the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's like the worst thing you could do. The worst thing a point guard could do is turn the ball over, especially in crunch time. And he turns the ball over and makes the worst decisions every single time. Every single time. I think Fizdale was giving him all the play and trying to boost his stats up to put him to raise his trade value. I don't think he's going to be here after the trade deadline.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's true. Listen, it's shaping up. It's shaping up to sound like maybe the Knicks. I didn't think the Knicks were going to make any moves at the deadline.
Peace, Isaiah.
All right, Isaiah. I see you Monday, man. See you Monday at the game. I didn't think the Knicks were going to make any moves at the deadline, but it sounded like maybe something's going to happen. Yeah, what's up?
Do I have to print out that ticket?
Yeah, print out those tickets. Well, I know who you are, so.
Okay.
I mean,
yo,
be at my house by 8.
He's talking to.
All right, man. Y'all can talk about that off the air, man.
Yeah,
keep that. I told you that. Have a good one. See you Monday, y'all.
All right, see you Monday. I'll see you Monday.
Peace, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shaping up to seem like, maybe the Knicks are going to make a move at the deadline. I thought maybe it was going to be quiet at the deadline, but, with things going around, things don't start going around for no reason. People are talking out there. Let me get to this phone call. All right, let me get this phone call. Caller, you're on Live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's up, Knicks family?
What's going on with you, man? I'm chilling. What's up?
What's going on, man? Everything's all right. Yo, man, I want to say one thing. I want to say a few things, like 2 things. But first thing I want to say, Knicks, you know what our problem is sometimes? We be ready to give out these contracts a little too fast and a little too chunky. Like, y'all talking a little too much money to be giving to Vonleh and Moutier sometimes. Like, sometimes we gotta slow down. Like, we ready to give Moutier a deal, and he can't even finish at the rim. Like, I don't
Trash,
point guard can't finish. I'm not getting rid of Frank. I got faith in Frank. Frank, I bet you next year I think that's gonna be Frank's breakout year. Not to know like star.
I believe that.
That's gonna be his year. He controls the offense. But Moutier, he can't finish at the rim. He jumps in the air. He makes stupid decisions when he's in the air. I mean, I like him. He gets his points up, but we on the trash team, and he's not. And he's been in the league 4 years. He's gonna get his points. I just think if we can keep Vonleh, next year, if we can keep him on like a something 2 years, $5 million or something like that. But he didn't do anything. Like he's been good for 2 months, and we ready to give him a 2-3 year extension. Come on now.
Hell no.
Okay,
it's not happening.
All right.
And yeah, KP. I just think, man, I can't wait till we get this draft pick and KB come back, man. We going to playoffs next year, man. I think we gonna get RJ, and we going to the playoffs next year, man. I'm telling you why.
Okay.
Knox is gonna be stronger next year. We going to the playoffs. We probably get knocked out first round or second round, but we going to the playoffs.
I'll take that.
Year, man.
I would take that. I would take
that last year, bro. Sorry.
I just hope that I want to see KP come back this year, right? Just so he can start getting in shape. I hope he comes back this year so he can start playing a little bit, get in shape. I would hate to see him take a whole, year and a half off and then come back pre-season. Come back next season, and people expect him to come back and be, Superman. I want to see him come back, start playing small. I want to see him come back this year and start playing small doses of minutes.
Because Boogie coming back tomorrow, and Boogie got hurt 2 weeks before KP got hurt. So I'm looking at it like, all right. You could play a little something, you know what I mean? Boogie gotta come back though. Boogie got no choice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
KP go get his money regardless. Boogie playing for his money, so he might be rushing it. But I'm looking at how Boogie played because I'm looking at Boogie's way heavier than KP. Well, he's about he's probably like 4 inches shorter. But I think the weight is more so important than the height because he got more weight on that knee than KP gonna have on his. You know what I mean?
Well, wasn't he?
That's what I gotta say. You can answer that. And, you know what I mean? That's what I gotta say. You can answer that.
Didn't he go out with an Achilles?
Shout out to everybody.
Hey, didn't he go out with an Achilles?
Yes.
It was Achilles, right?
Cousins had an Achilles injury. Yeah.
That's the worst injury you can have, by the way.
Yeah, that's a tough injury right there. That's a tough injury.
That kills careers.
Yeah. All right, caller, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro. Oh, he's already off. He hung up already. I appreciate you calling in anyway. Kareem, I want to know what you think about Noah Vonleh, man. Hold on, give me 1 second. There you go. What you think, man? Do we keep him, trade him?
Man, that's what, Vonleh is probably the toughest decision that we're gonna have to make.
Yeah.
To be honest though, Hazonia, he's looking like he can be a role player. I don't know if he's gonna be a role player for us, but he's looking like he can be a player, a solid player on the team. He's looked like he's starting to come into his own with what he's good at and trying to stay clear of what he's not so good at, and mainly is slashing. And Fizdale said early in the year that he had him playing games when people didn't like him playing because of his defense. And over the last few games, he's been showing that he has some defensive acumen. Like, he chased guys down. He had a big block, I think, against. Anyway, we'll get into that. But Vonleh is tough because we don't have his bird rights. So other teams are going to, if he wants to get his money, I don't think we're going to be able to keep him because I think he's out of our price range. Honestly, unless the Knicks try to do something like the Yankees did when they got rid of that dude. I forgot, they traded him, then they re-signed him. The Knicks do have an opportunity to do that if they do trade him. But I think right now you might have to trade him because, if you look at it like, okay, next year we're going to have KP at the starting four. We're going to have maybe Mitchell Robinson at the starting position. Then you got Cormet, or however you pronounce it, Cormet. And then from there, you have another spot for a power forward position. That might be a second-round pick that might get that spot. I don't know. That's a tough call. He's worthy to stay. He's definitely a winning player, but I know they want to clear cap space. Potentially, I heard some trade rumors, us possibly trading Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee to the Mavericks for Wesley Johnson and Dwight Powell. I don't know how real that is, but I think that the Knicks are trying to make as much move. I think they will try to make as many moves as they can to free up cap space, and I don't think Vonleh is going to fit into those plans.
Yeah, and that the whole thing is a big dilemma because looking in the free agency, you're gonna want to give players. If you don't sign somebody this year, then you want to try to save money for 2020 when there's going to be more players that come out.
Right.
Which means you're only giving out deals for 1 year. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, yeah, nah, I feel you, and I know you're not talking about this, but I know y'all probably been on here for a while. I just got it from work. I know I missed most of the chat, but yo, I was thinking if we get the number 1 pick, yo, I mean, I might be, this might be a hot take, or I might be talking crazy. But I don't know, man. If we get the number 1 pick, man, I might be looking to trade down, man. I don't know if Zion is what we need, man. If this kid Ja Morant is really as good, that's exactly what we need. We need. I mean, his court vision and his athleticism and his explosiveness. Yeah. I mean, I even like Romeo Langford. I don't know if Zion is what we need. I don't even know if Barrett is what we need. I like Langford and Morant to be honest.
I don't know if Zion is. I mean, listen, we talked about the possibility of if we got the number 1 pick, using it to trade down and get some more assets. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We really gonna after this All-Star, after the trade deadline and the All-Star break, we really gonna get into, this draft talk and
right. No doubt. I know I'm ahead.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel you about the Zion.
I'm excited though.
I was looking at him. And look, he listen. He's a super athlete. He's strong. He's powerful. He can do a lot of things on the court, but I agree. I'm not sure if that's exactly what we need. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'll say one thing, Sim, though. If we let a young guy with like Vonleh go, they better get somebody in free agency. You don't let a guy like that just walk out the door unless you're already flirting with some other top guy.
Let's look to it. Who would you guys want? There are a bunch of guys who are free agents. You got from the PF position. You got Tobias Harris, Mirotic, Julius Randle, who I like a lot.
I like Julius. I think
Millsap, Marcus Morris. If you're talking about replacing Vonleh, first of all, even before we get to that, what does Fizdale want as his vision, as his team?
Right.
What I mean? Like, do you want a straight replacement for Vonleh? Do you want a guy who's more defensive? Are you looking at the KDs and you want somebody to be like a poor man, score behind him off the bench? Like, we have to know what Fizdale wants. So it's tough.
I think if we don't get a guy like Durant, I think they're gonna go to Julius Randle, guys like that, bro. Young guys with potential still that. Have
but then you got to sign him to a big contract, though, right?
Randall don't play defense.
Yeah, he's going to cost a lot.
Like a dinosaur. I'm cool on him.
But I honestly think the Knicks management or the front office and Durant's agents are flirting with each other.
Facts.
And I think that's what this is all about, in my honest opinion. That don't mean Durant is coming, but I think that both sides are flirting with each other right now.
I mean, I also heard there's a possibility. I don't know how true it is, but I heard it's a possibility that the Sixers might be willing to give up a first-round pick for somebody like Vonleh.
Yeah. We heard that too.
Their first-round pick is going to be like 20, 21, and plus their cap space. Those you got to have a cap hold for those first-round picks, and that got to be like $3 million. So they might be really looking, because Vonleh's contract is like $1 million. They might be looking to make that move. I mean,
the guy
deadline be here soon. So
the guy I would actually look at the Sixers to get would actually be Tim Hardaway, because I would try to push that Tim Hardaway is the shooter they need, because we've heard the rumors, but they need shooting badly. After they lost the big guy Saric and whatever last year, they need shooting badly.
Yeah, but if we were really seriously trying to trade Tim Hardaway Jr., we wouldn't even been playing him.
Yeah, that's true. And this, I think, but I think this.
Wow.
Yo, it might be in the 12th hour. We might, we might find it taking the 12th hour.
Right.
I mean,
right. But I think the 76ers are looking for another shooting big man, right? Because they lost Saric.
They don't have a legit big man.
Yeah, I think they're looking for a shooting big man. Let me take this call. You guys are still gonna be live, but let me take this call real quick.
Scholar ain't guarding nobody.
Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping? Hello? Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on?
This is Ken. You remember me?
Oh, yeah. What's up, Ken?
Yeah, hi. So I wanted to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like how the Knicks play ISO ball, ISOs.
Right. Go ahead.
So I don't like the play style of like Emmanuel, Alonzo Trier, and his Canner, and like Trey Burke, and who was it? Tim Hardaway Jr. Because they're so selfish, they're bullhogs, and like I think we should trade Ennis Canner and Tim Hardaway Jr. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, that's what we've been talking about. I think we should trade Enes Kanter. And trade Enes Kanter because, right now he's just not fitting in with our locker room and fitting in with what the Knicks are trying to do. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. because, I don't think he's our shooting guard for the future. And I think that, we need to, if we're really looking at free agency, we need to try to move his contract and free up as much money for free agency as possible. You know what I'm saying? If we can move him and free something up, then, we'll be looking really, really good for free agency.
I mean, like, David Preston has to do something. Like, he's got long plays for, like, Kevin Knox and, like, Frank Ntilikina and those guys,
That's it. Yeah, right. Open up time for them guys to play. Exactly.
And like, remember last time we faced 76ers? They were moving the ball and like they were better without like Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah. I mean, and Tim Hardaway Jr. came back today. He had we had 15 assists. The last few games without Tim Hardaway Jr., I think we had above 20 assists the last few games without him, and it is because the ball moves a little bit differently.
Like even though shooting percentage was like not that high, they had a lot of assists, So like that means they're moving the ball a lot for Tim Hardaway Jr. So that's why I think like we should trade him. And like you guys were talking about trading KP, right?
No, we weren't really talking about trading KP. We went down a list. We went down our roster of players to say who should we trade, who should we keep. So we were talking about KP, and we were just
I don't like the idea of trading KP.
Oh, no, we're not going to trade KP. And we were saying, someone brought up a hypothetical question. If you were going to trade KP, like what would you want for him? You know what I mean? But no, we're not going to trade. We're not wishing to trade KP at all.
Maybe like if we get like top 5 pick next year, we can trade like KP and top 5 pick for like maybe Anthony Davis or something. And like that makes that's come to New York, right?
I can tell you what. The New Orleans Pelicans would love to take KP as long as KP shows that he's KP. To take KP in a top 5 pick for Anthony Davis. I don't know if I'm not going to say they would love to do it, but they would think about it very, very hard. I wouldn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. I would want to keep my top. I mean, would I do KP for Anthony Davis straight up? Probably so. Would I throw in the top 5 pick? I don't know, because I would rather try to add that top 5 pick to KP. Right? You get a top 5 pick,
I understand.
You add it with KP, and because KP has the potential to be Anthony Davis. Maybe not as much handle, maybe not. He may not be able to dribble as well as Anthony Davis can and advance the ball that way. But KP can be Anthony Davis in a couple years, right?
That's gonna be Like, can I talk about the draft?
Yeah, go ahead. Well,
like a lot of people are talking about like John Moran, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, or like Zion Williamson. But like people are sleeping on like Jared Culver and like Louis Hachimura,
Okay.
Have you ever heard of those guys?
Nah, not really. But in a couple of weeks, we're going to be going over. We're really going to be going over. Players in the draft and breaking down players in the draft. So we'd love for you to, be on the show with us, call in and talk about players in the draft. So we're looking as soon as we get out of, as soon as we, finish the deadline and come back after the All-Star break, we're going to be breaking down players in the draft.
That's going to be awesome. Do you think like we should trade Noah Bonnery to Sixers if they like say like they're gonna give us first round pick?
That's what we're discussing right now. I don't know. Maybe it's a tough question.
I'm sorry,
no, it's cool, man. It's a tough question whether or not we should trade him or not. It's a tough decision. Hey, Ken, I appreciate you calling in, man. Hey, what time is it in Japan?
I should check.
Yeah. NBK, man, listen, the Knicks got fans all over the world. Ain't that something? All over the map, man. The Knicks got fans. That's a great thing. There's fans in the UK. We get fans calling in from Australia, from everywhere, man. From
really?
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock in the morning?
1 a.m. I guess. Yeah.
Oh, it's 1 a.m. in Japan too. Oh, all right. So we're on the same time zone. Okay, cool. Hey, my man Ken, I appreciate the call, bro.
Yeah, can I share? I want to mention you guys Louis Hachimura from Gonzaga. He's Japanese, but he's awesome. You guys should watch him. Louis Hachimura.
Definitely, we're gonna go check it out. We're gonna check him out. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one, Ken.
Thank you very much.
All right, later. All right, guys, man, it's late. It's 1 o'clock. I'm traveling. I'm gonna be traveling to New York tomorrow, so I better get some rest. Before we get out of here, why don't you guys just give me some your last words, and actually though, before we get out of here, the Knicks play OKC this Monday, right? So the Knicks will be traveling back from London. They don't play Saturday. Don't play Sunday. Then there's the Martin Luther King Day matinee at Madison Square Garden versus OKC. OKC right now, listen, this is, and maybe the Knicks will surprise us and play well, but OKC, I think they're 4th in the Western Conference right now. I'm not gonna say that they're they're 3rd in the Western Conference. They're 26-18, 3rd in the Western Conference. And to tell you the truth, man, they haven't done it with a lot of noise, right? They've done it quietly. So this is gonna be a tough team. It's a tough team for us to face. You know what I'm saying? Especially right now, if Cantor's not playing. Steven Adams eats Cantor's food anyway, right? But I don't know if we're gonna have anybody big enough and strong enough to deal with Steven Adams down there. Of course, you got Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. You got to deal with another guard like that coming off the bench, and then the Schroeder. They got, and then of course Paul George, right? Kevin Knott's got to deal with Paul George. Right now, the Thunder, they average 113 points per game.
No, I never did TurboTax.
Their opponents right now are averaging 108 points per game. They average 48 rebounds a game, 22 assists. So they're not a team that's going to get a bunch of assists, but against us, they might. Right? Against us, they might. I just want to get, from you guys, just your quick take about the Knicks and OKC. And look, we're going to start, these at the end as we talk about the, who the Knicks play next. Starting in about a week or so, we're going to go a little bit deeper with some deeper stats. I got, got somebody doing some stats for us, so and doing some things for us. So we're gonna go a little bit deeper and talk about, try to go a little bit deeper into these matchups as we talk about them. So our end, as we break down pregame, we're gonna get a little bit deeper. But that's starting with the Houston game, I guess. But anyway, just real quick. Kareem, what's your take? Knicks, OKC. We're gonna have jet lag coming back. We're gonna have enough rest coming back from London. Are we gonna be tired? What? Are we going to be able to compete? What do you think?
Man, oh man. I don't know, man. I mean, Moutier, man, he frustrates me watching him play so much. Like, I'm literally watching it, calling out, like, watch him turn the ball over. Like, what we was down today, we was down, I think we was up 1, he turned the ball over, or he missed a bad shot or something. Then we was down 1, he turned the ball over. Then he turned the ball over again. So, I mean, with Moutier and then Westbrook coming at Moutier, I don't know, man. I think we might, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, man, because I don't know, man. Moutier he's such an enigma. Like, I really think he's gonna be going to the trade deadline, but I anticipate that we're gonna lose. And whatever happens in the game, I just can't call it, man. I just can't call it. If Frank was starting, I probably have a better prediction, because at least I can have some type of idea of what might happen with Moutier, man. You just don't know. He had a splendid half today, and then second half, you know what I mean? But he had 2 assists and 5 turnovers. Like, that's like a shooting guard, a bad shooting guard stats. Like, he's a point guard. So I hope Westbrook just eats his food, man, because I don't know. I'm just tired of seeing him, for real. I just want to see him get embarrassed.
Oh my God.
So, like, I do, man. I'm saying, because I mean, my thing is this: you're a point guard. You know what I'm saying? You're a point guard, and there's so many times when he penetrates and he's not looking to pass it. It's so frustrating. He doesn't pass it until he has no other option. His Euro step sucks. He has no floater. He has no floater. He jumps in the air, hangs in the air like he's Jordan. Like, where's your floater game? Anyway, that's my prediction is that we're going to lose. And I hope that the young guys have a good showing. That's my prediction.
Okay. All right.
Except Moutier.
He said except Moutier.
Moutier's trash.
Ant, what do you think, man?
I think we're gonna pull out the dub, man, because I'm gonna be in the building.
Okay.
So
yeah, bring your crown too, man.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, bring your crown up there. If they gonna let it in, they should let it in there.
I got the it factor, Sam. Okay. So I gotta feel like we're gonna win, so I can be hyped, man. If I go in and think we're gonna lose, like, I can't cry in my room, so I gotta be hyped up, man. So, but one thing I'm interested to see the Kevin Knox and Paul George matchup, because one thing Kevin Knox has shown is he's not scared. He's not scared. I remember when we played Golden State, he didn't play particularly well, but in that first half he was going at KD. So he's right that when he's playing guys that he respects and that he looks up to, he goes out there and tries to show something. So I want to see how he performs, man.
And his confidence level is much higher than in the beginning of the season. He's in better shape. His ankle is most likely feeling better. His confidence level is high. Yeah. Viv,
that's the matchup I'm looking at, though.
Yeah, Viv, what do you think, man?
Look, I hope just for the sake of everyone, including yourself, that are gonna be there on Monday, it'd be great if you guys saw a victory. But it's gonna be tough, man.
It's gonna be tough, man. But yeah, I know it's gonna be tough. But I want to see a victory. We're gonna be in the building. Listen, so far with NBK,
it's the least you could do, right? It's like get a victory while we're in. No. All right,
he says. Yeah. Listen, so far with NBK in the building, we're 1-0. We're trying to stay undefeated Monday. We're trying to stay undefeated.
All right, Tim. Those are my last words. I'm calling it a night.
All right, Viv. All right, man.
All right. I'll catch you on the chat on Monday.
Cool.
Monday.
Peace. Guillermo?
Yeah, man, we're definitely going to lose, but it'll be fun to go and watch these guys. And look, the Thunder are playing at a scary pace right now. I think they're number 1 defense in the league. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Your boy Russell Westbrook is low in his stats to actually be a facilitator and he's still playing good defense. So, yeah, this is going to be tough. But I hope that somehow Cantor and Tim Hardaway get sick so I can watch the young guys. It was fun to watch Mitchell Robinson move around, get blocks, and disrupt. And, I will say I did see better defense for this team. I saw a little bit more movement. I just want to see the young guys play. I see when they play a lot more unselfish. They actually have a better feel for the game than some of these vets that come in. So, I'll see you guys on Monday. Go Knicks, whatever. But we're gonna lose. So see you guys.
You know what scares me, man? I'm gonna tell you what scares me. Usually when we play these matinees, man, we get smacked. A lot of times we play these matinees and we get smacked, man. I don't want to see us get smacked.
And I forgot about poor George. Oh my, he's playing MVP. Yeah. See you guys on Monday, man.
All right, man.
Peace.
All right, peace. All right, fellas. I'm gonna head up out of here. Kareem, appreciate. Hey, we got to get you to one of these games with us, man. Maybe opening night next year.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I'm kind of hurt that I'm not gonna be able to make this one, the Martin Luther King joint, man. But yeah, man, y'all have a great time, man. You're doing a great thing, man.
Appreciate
bringing everybody together. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, especially at this time. I mean, I'm sure you've been a Knicks fan for a long time, and we've never had this opportunity to rebuild and see these guys, that we draft, every basket that they score as a Knick. Like, it's an exciting time, man. So, definitely kudos to you, man. And I hope you guys have a great time and be safe out there, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Hopefully we get to catch you on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, later, man. Peace.
All right, baby. Peace.
All right, Ant.
All right, man.
I'm out, man. Be safe. Be safe riding with Isaiah, man. Keep that dude in check. Hey, well, his father's gonna be there, right? His father's gonna be there, right?
Yeah, gonna be in the car too.
All right, so you cool then? You cool?
Yeah. We're gonna be in the back praying.
Yeah, he ain't gonna trip out with his father. I remember when a long time ago when we first started, man. Isaiah was on the phone. He was in there. He was yelling at something. His father started yelling at him. Father started yelling at him, telling him to shut up, telling him you gotta be quiet, man. That was funny. Yeah, so he gonna be cool with his father there.
Yeah. It should be fun though, yo. It should be fun.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man.
All right, man.
I'll catch you Monday, man. Be safe.
All right, see you Monday.
All right, peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope that the Knicks don't have one of their debacles. I hate these early matinee day games. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times the Knicks have debacles when they had these early day games. You know what I'm saying? But, Isaiah, I'm sorry. I just seen Isaiah in the chat. You know what, Isaiah? Remember, it was that night when you came on and you started singing. You remember that? You put on whatever you had on and you started singing when you got on the chat. It was that night your father started yelling at you. I remember. You know what I'm saying? You can go back in the videos, just way back somewhere and look at it. Yeah, that was funny. But anyway, I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys Monday. On Monday, we'll be doing a pregame probably about 12 o'clock. We'll have a pregame, and then we'll have and then we'll go off during the game. Then we'll have halftime, and then we'll do a postgame. Postgame is definitely going to be a little bit shorter because we're going to be in the lounge, and they're only going to give us a couple minutes to do the postgame, and then we're going to be, then we're going down on the court and take some pictures and stuff like that. And, we may stream that live a little bit, with us on the court taking pictures if they allow us to. So you may get to see a couple of different things as we're doing it. All right. So Monday, I'm going to try to, do live as much as I can. Right. As we get there and we're waiting to get in, we might jump on and go live, when we get in and see them doing the shoot around a little bit. I'll either go live or it might be on Instagram or Twitter. I'm gonna try to go live for at least a minute or two, but they don't like us to have the cameras on for too long. All right, and then we'll definitely be live for the pregame. So look for us on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Be safe in the snow. Right? Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh, wrong one. There we go.